Hot with peril today.
I'm gonna start local recording right now. We're still streaming on XSplit, so I think it was Twitch.
Again,
Good.
blame E3, blame Amazon.
Yeah.
So how
I
about
got
that YouTube gaming, everybody?
So yeah, I'm local recording now, just in case we have the same problem as that one time, because
A
this is the
rock
exact
chuck
same
ate
issue.
your internet.
Dude, so true story. This When I was like 18, this rock chuck jumps in my dad's car, and we basically had to like knock it out with a broom handle, and it ran to the
Like
hot
knock
side of
it
the
out of the car or
yeah,
knock it
like out of the
unconscious?
engine, and
Okay.
it ran to the hot side of the engine and like sizzled, and then we had to park with the car open, and I think it eventually ran off and died. But they're like, you can't see what I'm doing. They're
They're
huge.
terrifying. That
They're
sounds cool.
terrifying.
They don't fit on the internet. They're too big.
Yeah.
To
But
describe.
Oregon's so animal that they're like protected and everybody hates them, but they love them. You can't kill animals up here, so which is fine.
It sounds like a character type from like After the Bomb or something. Like you're an anthropomorphized rock chuck. That's some Gamma World shit right there.
They're only
Mhm.
out for 2 months in the year or something. They hibernate the rest.
Well, that's good because they would take over the
Yeah,
earth
I think
otherwise.
so. Okay, we're totally back.
All right. Well,
We're
that's
back. Hooray.
You all got that story for free.
excellent wilderness banter,
Thank you.
everybody. Well, that's
So
exciting.
yes, the end of that story is that
Okay,
Harvey
sorry.
Smith from the Dishonored team is a fan of Ghostlines and Blades in the Dark, and I think he's still in France right now, but we have some kind of potential plan to meet up at PAX or something and play some Blades. And
Nice. It's
Maybe.
always so good when that's the way that kind of conversation goes, where you make something that's like inspired by something else, and the person that made that thing comes to you and they're like, "Hey, this is really cool," instead of "Hey, cease and desist."
yeah, seriously, right?
Hey, stop being creative with that thing that I made.
yeah, no, they were so cool. Just it was a very good thing.
Yeah, that's totally awesome. And we need more of that stuff, like crossover. Because I don't know about you, but like whenever I play a video game that I really like or watch a movie I really like, my first thought is always like, how can I play a role playing game like this? How can I do more stuff that's similar to this, but in the game type that I like the best?
Yeah, totally.
It's nice to have that for sure. Cool. How about you, Andrew? Were you too busy riding bicycles to notice anything that happened at E3? Do you like video games?
I don't even like video games anymore.
I didn't see. Was there any Dota news? That's a thing you know about, right?
I don't know. I was on vacation. I didn't pay much
Yeah.
attention to it. I know that my friend Marielle was in the demo for the game that she worked on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I saw her photos of her posing with various large fiberglass characters I don't recognize.
Yeah, and so she was there and did the actual like on stage demo for. She's working on the Plants vs Zombies game. So
Oh, that's so cool. I should
Yeah.
look that up.
super rad.
Well, sweet. Yeah, I love Andrew. This is good guy Andrew. Doesn't have anything to say, so hypes up somebody else's stuff instead. Nicely done. Cool. Well, let's play some Apocalypse World, shall we? Do we want to do that? Does that feel like a thing we can do?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, we're here. We might as well, right? Okay. Let me grab up our highlight thread. Do you guys want to start? You want to start doing highlights while I grab that? Is that a thing you can handle?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I say that like I'm gonna lead it, but I'm not. I'm sure that you guys can handle it.
I like that. Yeah, we could totally do that. Somebody else do that for me.
Frankie, highlight
Managerial
your
skills. I'm just kidding.
That's right.
Frankie, highlight your sharp, and if your sharp is already highlighted, highlight your hot. Those are your two options for me. Because
you're clearly the highest for sure. I have a 3 with Frankie.
Okay, so Frankie, your highlighted stat from Reddit is weird. You are weird today, Frankie.
Weird and sharp. That's me.
Yep. Weird and sharp.
All right, awesome.
Navarre, God, everybody just wants you to blow up everyone all the time. You are hard this time.
That's all I want.
You finally reached like a relatively peaceful community where no one wants to destroy you, and now it's time to blow shit up if you want that XP.
I'm still not doing a very good job of keeping track of it. I should have. I'm sure I should have leveled up by now. We should probably have a meeting after this.
Listen,
Yeah, I think you have at least one unspent advance.
we need to sit down and talk about your advancement in this organization.
This is.
Where do you see yourself in 5
yes.
advances?
You learn the game faster. That's what. Remember, I'm new.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine.
Oh no, I know. I'm just justifying my bad behavior. Who's got my other my other skill?
You're really good at role playing because that's all it is. Justifying bad behavior. Listen, I'm
I've got
doing
a
this because
+1.
I'm chaotic neutral.
I've got a plus
Yeah,
one in the bar.
Me too.
So Frankie, why don't you highlight?
Okay. So you're hard. How about hot?
Gritch.
It's
Yeah,
so
Gritch
bad.
is. So you're hard and hot this time around?
Yeah,
But see, think of it this way. Now when you roll your shitty stat, you at least get something for it.
true. That's
Fair. Yeah. And plus the progression usually goes hot roll. Did I fail? Time for a hard roll. Seduce and
Okay.
manipulate. Didn't work. Go aggro.
I'll remember that.
All right.
Should I
so
judge Gritch?
yeah, Gritch, your highlighted stat is hot this time around.
I'm so hot right now.
You are so hot right now. Well, we'll see. We'll see if you choose to be. You have the choice to be hot.
Let's do sharp then.
Cool.
Yeah. Sweet.
Okay. Cool. Everybody's all highlighted up. So the last time that we saw our dear Apocalypse friends, you were with the Fishers, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Trying to recover the food supply, trying to get some medicine, which was being hoarded by
Satan.
Yeah, Satan's got all the medicine. Satan's hoarding the medicine.
Typical.
Typical Satan. You were gonna go, Gritch. You were gonna go see Jesus, right? Was that you, or was it the other way around?
I was gonna find Jesus.
You were gonna seek out Jesus.
Oh, he was in my heart this whole time.
Look for the footprints or whatever.
That's right. There's some footprints on the soggy footprints on the deck. Jesus is carrying you. It's cool. Cool. Okay. Yeah. And things were tense, right, among the Fishers because for some reason that no one is aware of yet, or no one has been made aware of. Jericho got cut off, right, by the Fishers. They're like, we're not sending you food anymore, asshole.
That's right.
Enjoy starving, and that's part of why he was going to go attack Mercer. There's also something super creepy going on at Mercer's Enclave, right, Gritch? You saw the maggot babies or whatever being made by the Minotaur.
Yeah, it's just full of maggot babies. It's
Yeah.
Totally.
not even that creepy, Adam.
Not even.
Little baby maggots.
Sometimes
Yeah,
I
they're
forget that he makes all this stuff up, basically, right? Like,
Yeah.
This is not from the book. This is all from your head.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Gross, but awesome.
Totally.
And then also, nothing. We have the Nothing's fortress, right? So Nothing owns Jericho's old fortress now. Nothing and his acolytes have a place from which to.
Which we basically gave.
Man, yeah, you totally just gave it.
Kind of on us, that one.
Yeah.
We should have blown it up more thoroughly.
And probably
Yeah.
blown him up.
It's definitely on my mind.
Yeah, Nothing was like, yeah, no, it's cool, Gritch. You belong here with us, but that's fine. You'll come back, right? Because Nothing was all like,
Yeah, you're
lamenting that his daughter, maybe, that Tao is dead, and we learned that he's okay with that now because you've picked up whatever she had.
And I mean, I tried to tell him that right before he beat the crap out of me, but he didn't really get it.
I tried to tell him. Listen, he just wasn't listening to me. I mean, that's one of his primary things, right? Doesn't listen.
Yeah.
Listening skills need improvement. He likes to go for the more direct approach, where he makes you barf up the things that you know and he eats them. Yeah, and that's the other thing that happened, right? Is that like Frankie, you had something purged from you, but we haven't seen what yet, and it was not the thing you wanted to forget.
Yeah, if that role had gone differently, things would be pretty different right now. I think that was a very important miss.
Yeah.
I'm super glad you missed.
Yeah, I guess in a way, yeah, it did work out sort of, but
Yeah. Every like Apocalypse World or game like it, I feel like you could flowchart it out and be like, what if we had, let's roll back to this one, and what if the game had gone in this weird direction instead? Yeah.
yeah,
What
the
if-
stakes sometimes are, yeah, stakes are high sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so you're in the Fisher Clan, you're in Fishertown, which is the like old cargo barge with the deck mostly cleared off. And the Fishers live here. They have the market up top. There's the big tower where where they sort of keep watch. And then there's a bunch of other like lesser boats that are sometimes lashed to the side of the barge, sometimes not. The barge itself is immobile, but can be like tugged around if they need to move it. But generally, they sit in the center of the bountiful water of their fishing grounds, and the boats kind of like just move around there, following the schools of fish. And so you're in Fishertown now, amidst probably the biggest like population of people we've seen since Mercer's. And in fact, I mean, there are maybe more boats and more people here than you'd expect. Like, it seems like they've called back a lot of the boats. There's a lot of population kind of in one place. Navari, would you like to kill them all?
I was about to say.
I was actually just thinking, I have to try really hard not to do that.
Well, that's the funny thing where it's like, cool, we have all of our cleanse folk together in one place, and then Navari shows up, and it's like, oh god, this is why we don't put the president and the vice president on the same plane. Because they might get Navarred. So where should we start? Do we want to start with Jesus or start with Satan? And actually, what are you doing, Navari, while these are off? Are you going with either of them, or do you have your own agenda here?
I think I'm staying with the boat. Right?
Okay.
I think
Cool.
that was what we discussed at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. You can be wherever you like.
I mean, I'm going to stay with the boat. That's what I always want to do. I lift
Okay.
weights.
So you're on the boat,
take
I guess.
inventory and draw.
Biz is probably with Frankie because it's his supplies that need to get restocked. So why don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we start there? How do you go about finding Satan?
I dropped
Here's Crossroads.
Yeah, anybody got a coat? Well, have you met Satan before?
Do they operate outside? Like, are they always here on the barge, or would they be elsewhere in the world?
Satan is the Fisher clan. They're the Fisher clan's war master. So when the clans need to be defended, they go to Satan to find out how and what to do. Satan doesn't really leave the barge. This is HQ. Satan has minions to carry out their bidding in the world.
Okay, so yeah, I probably haven't met them face to face. Then I just know the name and know their reputation, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna I think what I actually want to do first is scope around and see what like. I want to make sure I'm getting the right impression here. This gathering of everybody on the barge this isn't a normal thing, right? They're all here at once, which is somewhat unusual. Yeah,
the Fishers are usually out doing they're independent family units that have part of the bountiful water assigned to them and be like, go and get fish, bring it back when the fishing season's done. But it happens in rotation, right? They follow the schools around. So having them all here means there's water going unfished.
Right,
which is a big deal.
Yeah. So I think I want to tell Biz like that we're looking for Satan, but I really want to kind of take a circuitous path, kind of wander through the groups here and see if I can pick up on what's going on. Like try to get a read on.
You want to read the general situation of Fishertown?
Yeah, I think
okay.
Frankie's her mode right now is she's starting to think about work, and seeing maybe if she can pick up a job here. So she's going to scope it out and see if there's an opportunity.
Okay.
Cool. I will read the sitch. All right.
Sharply done.
Sharp is back.
All right. So this is you just like wandering around the market and overhearing conversations, or are you actively like asking people like, hey, what's going on?
No, I'm definitely being a little surreptitious. I'm like just kind of listening, eavesdropping, kind of reading people's body language and demeanor, and trying to get the vibe, get the picture without tipping my hand and talking to people yet.
Okay.
Well, let's start there. So who's in control here? Like, who's the current boss of this situation?
Sure. So normally Fishertown is run, like Jonah runs Fishertown. Jonah is the mayor, and he never leaves. He's always here. And Jesus supports Jonah in running the town, but Jesus is more the kind of archivist. Jesus is the keeper of the record. So the two of them generally run stuff, and everybody else reports to them. But Satan's in charge right now. Satan's got his hand they've got their hand on the wheel, and they're guiding
the wheel.
they're guiding the they called this conclave, which hasn't occurred yet, but that's the impression you get. And there's a lot of buzz. Like you get the impression that the Fishers don't know what the conclave is about either. They're like really nervous, and there's a lot of tension where people are like why did Satan call everybody back, and you notice that people are buying or trading for security supplies more than anything now. Like you watch someone trade away a bunch of like gasoline for like a bulletproof vest, which is an odd trade for nobody. It's sort of generally considered that nobody attacks the Fishers because they, by whatever tradition or means, they have the wherewithal to get the food, and they give the food to everybody and trade for it, and it's just how the economy works. But suddenly like the Fishers are arming up, and maybe you notice there are like some outside like traders that are here specifically drawn because they heard like violence was going to happen, and they're kind of like feeding off people's paranoia. So maybe you see this, you get a scene outside of like a makeshift like trading area where someone is just trading guns and bullets and stuff, and there's a big crowd around this one guy's stall. And you can see him, he's just got shit-eating grin on his face, like, yes, everybody wants my guns. And it's just
a big crowd of like 7 people.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big crowd for the market.
Yeah, for us, right? Yeah. So like, I'm trying to just imagine it. Like,
it'd be big.
Like 7 people over there. Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Can I ask, Satan's not my enemy yet, I don't think technically, but
well, you could ask what your enemy's true position is, and I could tell you the position of an enemy on the ship.
That's
I mean, I'm going to answer the question as it's written if you ask it to me. So
fair enough. I will ask that then. What's my enemy's true position while I'm scoping out the marketplace here?
So I think that your enemy is all around you, in that you keep like people keep giving you dirty looks or like suspicious looks, like, what are you doing here? The Fishers aren't happy to have not you specifically, but you and your crew on the ship. It doesn't look like there's any one person who is like, go out and seek them out, because nobody comes out and like harasses you or anything. But you get a lot of dirty looks, and you catch like people whispering about you under their breath. They're like, "Oh, that's Frankie," like whatever, and you hear like Gritch's name a couple of times. And yeah, they seem like nervous that you're on you're on in Fishertown.
What's the level of hostility? Is it Is it that? Is it nerves or is it?
It's nerves. Yeah, they're like, "What are you doing here?" Like you're making an already uncomfortable situation for them seem worse because you travel with Navari, and wherever Navari goes, blood is thrown about.
Yeah.
And there's some of that. Gritch. We've established Gritch has a weird kind of tension on the ship. Yeah, so your true enemy, the place where danger is going to come from, is everywhere, right? Any of these people is going to like turn around and betray you or whatever if you put your trust in them. So
Sweet.
yeah, beware of that.
I'll take that +1 forward against everyone.
Good call.
Yeah, that's good. And I guess finally, what's my best way in to see Satan?
So I think that you see a couple of Satan's like minions around. You can tell because they're armed in the same way that Satan is. They're the only fishers up until now, anyway. They're the only fishers that carry weapons openly, like big, like scary looking guns. And I think just following one of them, or even like approaching one of them, will get you in because everybody's curious. And if you just say like, "Hey, I'm Frankie, I want to see Satan," it might, depending on the minion, it might get you in to see Satan.
Okay. That's what I'll do then. I'll spy the most likely. Well, I guess I should ask: Do I recognize any of the minions? Maybe I know one of them.
Yeah, I think so. Because you've been around before. I think that at this point, maybe as you're leaving the little like stall where the armorer is selling these like bulletproof vests to people. You spot Abraham. She's one of Satan's minions.
Cool. All right, I'll approach her.
Okay. So she's dressed like maybe even more aggressively than usual. Like she's wearing like armor, like put together armor, like kind of like Navarius, but more aggressive looking. Like she's got like a spiked shoulder pad and maybe like a hockey mask or something, and she's got a sawed-off shotgun like in her hands, and she's standing up a little ways away, like looking around, kind of like making eyes at people and like making sure that the market situation doesn't get out of control.
All right. I approach her and kind of shaking my head like, "Hey, Abraham."
She looks down at you. You can see her like eyes under the mask, and when you come up, she sort of looks at you. And what was the last? How did you last part with Abraham? What was the last thing that the two of you said to each other? Now, she might have been on one of the Fisher boats.
Yeah.
Satan's minions go out into the world and check shit out and come back. Right, they're scouts too. So you might have run into her somewhere else.
Yeah, I think just for fun here, the last thing she said to me was, she I don't know how she would say it quite, but she warned me about Navari. I was leaving with Navari.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "You're gonna regret that," or something, something along those lines.
Sure. Right.
So
Okay,
she was
cool.
she was looking out for me a little bit, but kind of,
She's just jealous.
I told you so. Yeah, sort of, maybe like because you're a bigger badass. But yeah.
I don't need no spikes.
Okay, so I think that when you start to approach Abraham, and she squints at you, and you can see she's like trying to recognize like who you are as you come through the crowd, and as you get closer, her dog Gamora starts like growling at you, and Abraham hops down from the box that she's on and takes her mask off with one hand, like puts her shotgun in its holster, and is like, "Whoa. Hold up, Gamora, it's cool." And she looks at you. Then she takes her mask off so you can see her face, and she's got like her eyes, like around her eyes, painted black. And she's got her like dreadlocks pulled up in kind of like a top knot. And she kind of like looks you up and down. She's like, "Still got all your limbs." That's good. Not what I expected. How's it going, Frankie? And she like goes to like shake your hand.
Yeah, I shake back. I think Frankie's eyes are kind of sunken, and she's pale, and she's not looking super good. She's had a rough few days, and she's kind of dirty and semi-scorched from fires and gunfights, and maybe not too bad for the post-apocalypse, but looks pretty beat up.
Yeah. Do you look worse than you usually do?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I shake, and I'm like, yeah, well. Yeah. Would I even? No, she doesn't. She doesn't comment on that. She just shakes and says, "Abraham, like to have a word with Satan, if I could."
She nods slowly. Yeah, you and just about everybody else. Satan Fisher's real busy right now. And she like kind of looks around. She's like, you can see things have changed.
Yeah, it looks like you're arming up, and me and mine, and I kind of emphasize my.
I think she looks at Biz, who's kind of like hiding behind you, and she like leans over. She's like, "Who dat?"
This is Biz. He's our doctor, aren't you, Biz?
And Biz like nervously comes forward, like, but goes to shake her hand, and she takes his hand and does this thing that you've seen Fishers do when they meet someone for the first time. And she like holds his hand. And you can see him trying to like take his hand away, like he finishes the shake. He's like, okay, thanks. But she like holds his hand and like stares into his eyes, and she repeats his name. She's like, Biz, 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 and she's like, okay, I got it, and like shakes his hand. She's like, good to meet you, Biz. What do you do? And he's like, oh, this and that, and then like is trying to hide behind you again. Is like slowly like just you talk to her, please.
Yeah. So I say, we're looking for work, and it looks like you're arming up here. So maybe our availability is something Satan wants to know about.
She nods and says, yeah, I'm surprised that's not why you're here. I figured Satan would have called you first thing, given what you got on board. That's not what happened? What are you doing here?
We've been out of touch lately, but we're getting back in the game now.
All right. Well, you want to see Satan?
Over Frankie's shoulder in the distance, there's like a plume of smoke burning on the horizon.
Yeah, we're back in the game. Boring the distance. She says, yeah, you want to meet with Satan Fisher? We can make that happen. And she like looks around and she's like, but I can't leave. I gotta watch this side of the market. Here. And she like, I was gonna say she fishes through her pockets, but that's a terrible plan. She goes through her pockets, and she takes out a little like makeup compact. And it's all tarnished and stuff, but she hands it to you. She's like, now I'm gonna need that back, but you take it to the tower. She points to the deck,
the bridge,
the big bridge. Yeah. And you can actually see from here because it's all gray and everything, but it's backlit. You can see shapes moving around up in the bridge. Maybe you can spot someone like standing by the window, like looking down at the market. Like, you take that to the tower, tell them I sent you. They'll probably let you in, but I'm gonna need that back. So come find me when you're done.
All right. Much obliged, Abraham. I shake her hand again.
Okay. She's like, hey, before you go, she looks around. Where's Navarre at?
She's on the boat. She's gonna stay there.
It's like you're talking about a bad dog.
Yeah, right. She nods and she's like, okay, but you're not gonna begrudge me sending somebody to keep an eye on that shit?
This is your turf. You do what you want, but don't make any sudden moves.
So she like looks over and she shouts it. There's a kid, and she's like, Silas, and he like comes over, And Silas looks like he's been in a bad situation recently. Like he's missing an arm, and it's not like he's been missing it for a long time, but it's like, truncated at the elbow with like bloody like bandages wrapped around it. And he's got a pretty bad limp. And he's bandaged in several other ways. And he comes limping over, and she's like, Silas, there's a boat. And she like describes your boat. And she's like, go keep an eye on it. And he nods and like scampers off as best he can. And so she looks at you, and then I think at that point, like there's some shouting that happens in the crowd, like some people arguing about something, and she looks at you like, I gotta go, and like pulls her hockey mask back on and starts walking into the crowd shouting. Like she goes from like quiet conversation to you, like, okay, work, gotta go, sorry. Puts it on, she's like, listen, motherfuckers, and like starts walking and like starts shoving people, and her dog just like starts barking and like runs out into the crowd.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So meanwhile, Gritch, what are you doing?
Finding Jesus. You said Jesus was like some kind of archivist or something, which presumably
Jesus keeps the record. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'm just going like straight there because I figure that's where Jesus will be.
Okay. Did we determine Jesus' gender yet?
Jesus is a him.
Jesus is dude. Okay.
I believe in the initial conversation.
I think so too. Yeah, I think he was referred to as a he. Okay. Okay. So how do you? Let's compare and contrast. How do you find Jesus? Right. Frankie finds people that she's looking for by wandering around and listening. Do you just grab somebody and drag them into an alley and like suck the brain out so you know where Jesus is, or
no?
How do you operate, Grit?
I assume I already know and just go to the archive. And if Jesus is not there, then I'll start asking questions.
Okay, so the Fisher family record is it's like a literal like book. It's like a naval logbook, and in it they record all of the things that happen in the Fisher clan. So like when people are born.
Begats.
Yeah, exactly, the begats. Who's born, what name they get, what names are available when someone dies, because they have like a pool of names that they use, and as someone passes, new names are bequeathed.
They don't want any redundancy.
Yeah. And as such, it's well protected. So they keep it up on the bridge in the like council chamber or whatever, which is where Jesus usually is. Jesus has disciples that help him with with this stuff. Much like Satan has minions, but there's usually only ever one, and that person is kind of Jesus's like apprentice. So if you find either of the two of them, you should be able to make your way.
And so I think like as I'm walking there, like Gritch is probably doing something very similar to what Frankie did, of just like looking at people and trying to get a sense of things, but whereas Frankie was looking for work, Gritch is like looking for signs of like the cult people, or like, because Goliath had an armband, right? That woman's son.
I can't remember.
Did he have an armband, or was he just angry?
I think he was just surly. Yeah, okay. I don't remember like that. Yeah, I don't think that was it. Maybe that's what you remember.
But yeah, I'm like looking around for like any signs that anyone has like a weird, armbands, or is behaving in ways that like stick out to me.
So you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get a question.
Sure.
I guess I'll just ask, what should I be on the lookout for?
Okay. You should be on the lookout for there's a Fisher who's been following you as you're wandering around in the crowd. She's like young-ish, probably like in her early 20s. And she's been doing a pretty good job of shadowing you, but she's explicitly like on your trail, like following you around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I'm like making my way towards the tower or whatever, I guess, right?
Okay.
Same one that Frankie got sent to.
Yep.
And I think I don't do anything about my tail until I'm there, and then I'll like, because I assume it's like you go inside of a thing, and there's like
Yeah.
hallways and stuff. So
Yeah. There's
like, turn a
doors
corner.
on either side, and you would go in, and then you can go down or up, and like there's various.
Yeah, I just like try to catch her at a blind corner where I just like turn a corner and wait.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so she you go around the corner to like wait. Let's see how well. Why don't you act under fire? And the fire is whether your little ambush is successful, and you get an extra +1, right? Because you're reading the situation.
So I get a 12.
Yeah, you kill it. Okay. You don't have. Do you have the opened version of acting?
No,
under fire?
I have manipulate, opening my brain, and going aggro. Open.
Okay. So yeah, you get what you want. So what happens? Describe like how does she like blunder right into you, or like do you have a second where you're like behind her, you can grab her? Like what is it?
I'm just trying to like talk to her, so it's just like she just turns the corner and like I'm right there.
Just face to face. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or
So
like I'm like casually leaning against the wall.
okay. So she starts like she like jumps. Yeah, she's like I said, she's in her early 20s. She's black. She has a shaved head. She's wearing not like robes, but like they're not clothes. They're like wrapped. Like it's like a long piece of like coarse grayish fabric, like maybe sailcloth or something that she's like wrapped around herself and like pinned.
Like a sarong kind of, or
Kind of, yeah, but like thick. And she's got some kind of like necklace on, like it's made out of not like ornamental like chain, but like maybe bike chain or something that she's got around her neck, and then hanging from it, she's got a like a plastic, like a medallion with some kind of like faded corporate logo you don't recognize from a million years ago, or maybe a year, who knows, time.
Yeah.
It looks like if we saw it, it would be like something that came out of a Happy Meal, like a movie tie-in or something. And she's got it on this bike chain around her neck. She comes around the corner and you startle her, and she like jumps back, and she looks like she's gonna run. What do you want to do?
Just be like, "Hello, I'm Gritch. Nice to meet you."
Okay. So I think she's gonna turn and run for it. If you don't like physically grab her or something.
Yeah, so maybe I'll like put a hand on her shoulder.
Okay.
And I'm like not being like super aggressive with it, but I'm just like, "Hey, like, can I have a word with you?"
Okay. Why don't you seduce or manipulate here? The promise is that you're not gonna like hurt her, or like this isn't gonna go the way she thinks it's gonna go, right?
Okay, so
Is that what you're trying to do? Like it seems to me like you're just trying to like calm her down and be like,
yeah. I'm just like, "Oh, hey, it's cool. I just want to like chat with you." So I do that with cool because she's an NPC.
Okay.
I get a 7. Thank goodness.
All right. So some concrete assurance that you're not gonna like hurt her or like get violent or weird.
And I think I like my body language. Like I've got like I take she's like, so I grab her shoulder. Maybe she like turns.
Yeah, she flinches and turns. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm like hands up. I'm just like, it's quite all right. I just wanted to talk. Not upset. Not angry.
Okay. So she like, and this is the interesting thing, is that even in the most like busy place in the world, basically, one thing that we do have a surplus of is privacy, right? Because there's so few people. So like the sounds of other human voices are like a distant memory. You can just hear the water and like the boat creaking and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think that like you can hear her, like she swallows hard and looks at you like she's trying to decide what to do, and then she kind of like her body language relaxes a little bit, and she's like, "What do you want to talk to me for?"
Well, couldn't help but notice. Now, why exactly are you following me? I understand that someone told you to, but
She nods. She's like, "Jonah said so. Keep an eye on the outsiders."
What's your name?
She looks around, she's like, "Judas Fisher." She like puts her hand out.
Rich just smiles. Oh, perfect. Well,
she's just like holding her hand out, like waiting for you.
Oh yeah, I like totally take her hand in like both of my hands.
Okay. So when you take her hand, she's like, "Who are you?"
Like I said, I'm Gritch.
Gritch, and she does that thing again. She like looks you in the eyes and like repeats it 3 times, and she's like, "I think I heard that before."
Well, I have been by a few times.
Mm-hmm. And she like looks around kind of awkwardly, like, "Can I go, please?"
I'm here looking for Jesus. I was wondering if you could help me find him.
Why?
Oh, because he and I are friends and I want to talk to him.
You friends with Jesus?
Yes.
I ain't never seen you before.
Well, I'm like, how old are you? How long have you been here?
She shrugs. She's like, born a fisher. Like, she's proud of it. Like, it makes her better than, like, that's a thing. She's like, yeah, born a fisher.
Yes. Well, I have been around before. I was working here for a while, and on some of the ships.
Doing what? She like looks you up and down. Don't look like you're any good with a hook or a boat.
Oh, I'm quite terrible at those things, but what I am is a doctor.
She like, looks around.
I help people remember things. Memory is in short supply, as you know.
So she's kind of looks at you like, what? That's dumb. That's a dumb thing to say. She's like, we don't need no help remembering. Got the record. Jesus teaching me.
Ah. Well, then you should know that the record lets you remember things about where you come from and how you got here. But what I help you remember is specific things. What someone said, how you felt, that type of thing. It's different, obviously. I'm not stepping on any toes here as far as you guys have your record, and I appreciate and respect that.
That's dumb. You're dumb. This is a dumb conversation. I don't know why you want me to follow you. You're boring.
Well, rather than follow me, you could show me the way to Jesus.
I don't know.
And then you wouldn't have to follow me anymore. You could get on with your day.
That is my day. Supposed to follow you. Jonah said so.
I like shrug. Well, I'm sure you could find something else to do that would be more entertaining.
So she's just like kind of confused now because she's like, well, if you don't go anywhere, I can't follow you. Like, I just have to stand here now? I'm so like she's just kind of like, well, okay. So you want to try and convince her to take you to Jesus?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
And why should she do that?
So that she can like not be stuck here talking to me or stuck following me around. Like once I'm hanging out with Jesus, like obviously he can keep an eye on me.
Okay.
She can wash her feet or something. I don't know, whatever.
Whatever these people do. Go fishing. Okay, why don't you make a seducer manipulate here? You're trying to manipulate her. And the thing is, like, if you do this, then you can go about your business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do something better.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so bad at this whole thing.
Okay. So she nods. She's like, okay, yeah, I'll take you. Come on.
Wonderful.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll follow it.
She leads you off in a particular direction.
Can I read her though?
Well, you don't trust me that you failed and got what you wanted? Come on, I'm just being kind and generous. Yeah, you can read her. That's fine.
She is a suspicious person.
Oh, no.
Don't worry.
Oh my god. Let's just compound your failures.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that. Thanks, Andrew. All right. So meanwhile, on the boat, Navarre, what are you doing when we see you again?
I am organizing things and lifting at the same time.
You're organizing your weights. One of them is up here, and one of them is down here. Then they switch.
Well, it's like guns and ammo, but I'm just counting. I count the inventory that we have, and I make sure I have enough bullets. But I'm also
how many crates of ammo in the 4?
I have to exercise at every minute to keep these muscles
Awesome.
going.
When you do push-ups, it's not that you're lifting yourself; you're pushing the entire world away from you.
Absolutely.
All right. So you're doing this like out on the deck?
Yeah. I'm just
Okay.
kind of walking around. I'm in my own
All
little
right.
world all the time. So
Okay. So I think that you're walking like back from the. You're coming up from inside the boat, maybe carrying some ammo or something to move it to another location. And you see there's a woman in like blue coveralls standing on the like dock that you're attached to. And so she's a little older, probably like in her mid-30s. How old is Navari, like biologically, if we were to look at you?
probably like the same age, mid-30s.
Okay, cool. So she's the same age as you then. And she's in coveralls. She's got a big tool belt on, and she's just like standing with her arms folded, like staring down at the boat. When you see her, she catches you looking at her and catches herself getting like there's that moment of recognition, and she kind of nods and like waves to you, and she's like, "This your boat?"
I approach and I say, yes.
She's like, "Ain't seen one of these in a long time. Nice boat. Looks like you've seen some damage." And she points at like the burn marks on the deck, and there's probably like some smoke coming out of the engine that hasn't been fixed yet.
It's true, I think. I just keep stacking stuff though. I'm just being pleasant and
So
assuming she's chit-chatting.
she's like, "You mind I come aboard?"
No, stay there. I got a lot of stuff I'm organizing and we're not taking in visitors right now.
So yeah, she sees you and you got your crates, and she's like, "What is all that?"
Just our inventory.
I don't mean to be pushy, but it's my job to know these kind of things. I'm able. I kind of run the docks.
I mean, don't you think you ought to lead with that kind of information instead of,
She shrugs. Just trying to be friendly.
uh,
This ain't an official visit. I just
well, yeah,
things been tense around here, and I recognize you.
cool. Then I'm gonna have this kind of stuff. We're not here for anything bad. We're just here to stock up. We got caught out in a little weirdness, and here we are.
Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time with that. Stocking up, I mean. Things like that. Ammunition, medicine. We're keeping most of that on the boat. Satan's orders.
Okay. I just keep. Thank you.
She's like, as you're like maybe walking in, she's like, "Where are you? I keep it all below decks. Someone liable to take it. War effort and all that."
Thank you. I appreciate that. Can I read her before I go, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I keep forgetting.
Don't do it. You'll just roll a 4 and Adam will get to do things.
What do you think I'm doing right now?
What do you think he's doing right now?
Sharp.
Nice.
I did miss. Oh, no, I didn't. Nice. I was reading Gritches. Okay, so.
What would you like to know?
So I'm reading a person. So I get 3 questions.
Yeah, and you can keep talking to her if you want to, or you can just like get from what you've seen so far.
What does she wish that I would do?
Let her on the boat so she can look around.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
I always love that. Like, what does the character want me to do? Well, tough shit for them.
Yeah, no way. Are they telling the? No, I mean, I guess they are. They've got to be telling. What are they? When it says what do they intend to do? Like, how can I ask that differently though?
I mean, you can ask me that. Like, what's she gonna do now? Like, if you walk away.
Sure. Yeah. I'm gonna just thank her and start probably moving things closer to the back of the ship. Mm-hmm. So, in that case, yeah. What does she intend to do?
She's gonna go tell Satan that there's a boat full of explosives and shit right on the side of the town, and yeah, she's gonna go rat on you.
I mean, I'm not too concerned about that if they know who I am. They're gonna know if Navari's here. They're assuming, like, that's just silly to not. Who do you think I am? How could I get her to not do that?
You'd have to offer her some like reason not to, or I mean, I guess you could threaten her. You could be like, if you tell Satan I'm here, I'll rip your face off. She'd believe that.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you could threaten her not to, but bending a fisher's loyalty to the other fishers is very, very difficult otherwise.
Okay, I'm not going to do anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I thank her, and I just start again, like, putting things in a better place where I can see everything, and because I don't really want to put everything below, because I think what I'm doing is like restocking things that we would use if we were in the middle of something.
You have a question, John?
Yeah, I was wondering, Avison, do you think Navari would be willing during this time to clean up the murder room? Is that a thing
if
that
you asked me to, then yeah.
I definitely would not have asked you to.
I'm not sure. So I can't recall when the last time I noticed it was. So it depends. Like, if I go back below,
you might not have noticed
open now, right?
I was gonna say, you might not have noticed the room itself, but you would have noticed that Frankie has been sleeping in miscellaneous other places on the boat.
Okay. I think because the door's open now too, right?
I think everyone's just been avoiding it completely, but
I think so. Yeah,
I was thinking it was closed before, so I think if I am going up and down and it's open now, and I know she's not sleeping in there, then I would totally, because I don't care. So, I think then because do we know how they handle dead bodies here? Like,
I think everybody has their own traditions. I don't know.
Like, we can sink a body and nobody will look at us funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think once somebody's dead, nobody really cares about them. Okay. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I guess I have to put a weight or something on it, right? Or would it just sink? I don't know how.
I wouldn't just sink on it. It would just float around. Someone would definitely notice. And they'd probably, I mean, the thing is to remember too, like, it's not just any dead body. It's a dead body that looks exactly like Mercer. And a lot of people don't know that Mercer has a twin sister, not because it's hidden, but because Tau's so unimportant.
Do we have, this is going to sound really bad. Do we have, like, any sort of, like, oven?
I mean, probably not one you could fit a body in. No.
I mean, but when I could.
If this was a steamship, maybe you could just throw it, but no, there's nothing like that. I mean,
there's a hot plate.
You've got a big ass knife, right?
Well, so that's what I was trying. That's what I was gonna do. If there's some sort of like fire, she's already like super dead. It just
multiple times dead.
Cutting things up is not like at this point. It's nothing.
So is that where you go then?
I mean, if there's a way to burn this body, I would put it in a broiler or whatever over sinking it, because I don't want to leave the ship, and I would need to go find rocks to sink the body. And if it's like Mercer, I'm not dumb, and I don't want to get us into any trouble. I don't know what's going on, so.
Yeah.
Also, it could come back as a White Walker if you don't burn it.
True. So
it's happened before.
If it's possible to do that, that is absolutely, or like if there's a way I can set a fire and like put it in a bag and like, I don't know if that's possible. I'm just making stuff up at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to get your hands on like an oil drum, but that shouldn't be impossible.
Yeah.
But fire is a hard thing to make in this world because there's not a lot of like gas fire, no problem. But like an actual like bonfire or whatever, that's difficult.
Like if I got an oil can, I could put gasoline a little bit and just
yes,
for sure.
So what's your plan of disposing of Tau's body?
My plan is to get her into a bundle the size of an oil canister and wrap her up in the bloody blankets. Go find an oil canister. Hopefully not too far away from where I am, because I don't really want to leave the ship unattended.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't even think I would leave. I think I would just bundle it up until somebody came back in my room maybe, because I don't care, and then just clean
So you're gonna. All right. So you wanna chop Tao's body up with
That
your
is what I'm
knife.
doing.
Okay. All right.
But so the
Where
first
are
thing I'm
you?
doing though is moving the sheet and everything bloody that I can out of Frankie's room and into mine because I can handle it. And so like I don't want anybody to walk in on this. I just
Yeah,
want
I
it
mean
to be taken care of.
you'll need some space, and
Yeah.
Gritch and Frankie are off the boat doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know that your room has like.
Or just out into the dining room at least.
But yeah, you can
And
put
then
her on
like
a
shutting the door to the
mess.
down below so I know if someone's coming. I can at least
Hose
like
the whole room down. Yeah. Okay.
just like throw the sheet over and but yeah, I think the first thing I'm doing is getting it out of her room, making her room not look like it's covered in blood, and then preparing this oil canister size package.
Okay. All right. And what do you?
Preparing the package.
Yeah. And what are you gonna?
I've
What are you gonna
objectified
do?
this thing at this point.
Yeah. What are you? What are
Yeah.
you gonna do? Like to prepare for this? Like, are you? Do you just like? Are you just like fucking and start chopping?
Again,
away?
like in my head, this is not a person anymore. This is just a mess that needs to
Okay.
be cleaned.
Okay. Can I? Well, I'll get you to roll. We'll take a break, and I'll get you to roll.
Sounds good.
We'll
I
pick
like
up
that.
there.
All right, everybody, hang on real quick. We'll be back very soon.
Shouldn't be pressing.
You And hopefully you can hear us, everyone. We're
Fingers
back.
crossed. The maelstrom will stop interfering with our audio. Everybody rolled a 12. Everybody rolled a 12 plus and got to see past the maelstrom of The Break.
That's right.
The,
You saw what lies beyond.
Maelstrom is made up of Pringles commercials.
People
Cool.
are freaking out because it just said ready for so long. The reality is there were no audio problems. I was just talking too much.
That's a kind of audio
We're
problem.
great. Yeah.
It's a sort of audio problem. It's
I
related.
get excited. All right.
Cool. Okay. So we'll cut right to Frankie. You've shown the Abraham's talisman to the guards at the tower. Maybe that's the first thing we see is the tower, and we haven't seen it up close yet. So on the outside, it's all covered in like old fishing nets that they don't use anymore. Various things dredged up from the sea along with the fish. So they've like attached these to the outside of the tower. Old road signs, chunks of billboard that still have faded ads on them. And above the door, in letters taken from various like signs that have been pulled up from below, is the word Babel over the door, but it's like Babel in different letters. And that's put up over the door. The doors are open. People are coming and going, but there are guards. Satan's posted some minions outside. But when you show Abraham's talisman to them, they nod and wave you through. And you find your way not all the way up to the like main deck, but someone takes you or whatever, guides you gently to Satan's war room. Yeah, that's an appropriate response. And they let you in, and so Satan is here. They're alone right now. Well, they were until you came in. And they were looking at. They've got a bunch of maps, which your eye is drawn to, out on the table. And Satan, at some point in their early history, was wounded in an attack. There was some kind of like fire, or it's not recorded well, so the fishers don't. They just know that Satan was hurt, and so Satan cloaks himself in a breathing mask and a hood and goggles. And that's why it's not that Satan identifies as being, gender neutral. It's that no one knows what to call Satan, and Satan has never corrected anybody. But they're like badly hurt, and they keep themselves in like a heavy suit, and they wear like a rain poncho and keep themselves like swaddled basically all the time. Their voice comes through raspy and quiet through this mask. So if you want to talk to Satan, you got to get close. Satan is, they've got both hands spread out on these maps, and they're like staring down at them. When they hear the door open, they look up. The minion that brought you here gestures. It's like, there you go, make it quick. They busy, and closes the door kind of behind you. And so you have a minute before I'm going to interrupt you with something. Thanks to Andrew's bad rolls. But Satan looks up from the map. And have you met Satan face to face before? No? Okay. No. So I think Satan says through the mask, and loudly enough that you can hear it, but that's just mostly because the room is quiet. They're like, Frankie. Good. And they like walk over to you, and like put their arms around you and like hold you close, and their body just like radiates like intense heat. Like you start to sweat as soon as they put their like arms around you. They smell like gasoline. Their body is like vibrating a little bit and like radiates this like intense heat. You're just like sweltering. And they like take their arms off from around you and like look at you, and you can see just barely through their big like goggles. You can see pupils like moving, but you can't see like the color of their eyes or like anything. And they
cool.
Yeah, and they nod and they're like, "I was gonna call for you. I'm glad you're here."
Okay.
You're just like
myself and play Frankie. I'm like just staring like as a player, like go on. Yeah, what would Frankie do? She's serious as by default. So when the embrace is happening, she kind of like gives a firm kind of response. And then when Satan pulls away, Biz is still with me, right? Is he like cowering behind me still, or did we get separated?
Yeah, no, Biz is there, but Biz is like, terrified of Satan.
Okay. She's like all business right now, so she's like, good. I'm glad to hear you say that. We're looking for work, and looks like you might need our services.
He nods and they say they nod and they say, you still have her sword.
Yes.
Perfect. It's going to be a conclave, Frankie. And they put their hand on your shoulder. And again, that warmth, that heat. Like, I want you to be there. We need to talk about what to do with Navarre.
All right, I'm going to read Satan.
Okay.
Time to read. I can't just go along forever here. Read a person. Oh, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Got it.
Do you want to ask anything now, or you want to just hang on?
Yeah, when Satan mentions Navarre, what are they really feeling?
Excited.
Yeah. Excited. Okay, that's good to know. What do they intend to do?
Precisely what they said, but with the undercurrent of they want you on their side because they need to use Navarre, and they figure you're the hand that wields the sword.
Okay. Let me see if I want to talk first before I ask this. Yeah, I'm going to hold a question in reserve.
Okay.
So they say conclave about what to do with Navarre. Is that what they said?
There's a conclave, and then as a separate statement, they said we need to talk about what to do with Navarre. That's why they.
Those are separate things. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Frankie says, we've always been on good terms with the Fishers, and we'd love to help you out if we can. What's all this about? Like, and she sort of looks at Satan's gun or something, or like, everybody walking around with guns. She sort of like indicates the arming up of the Fishers.
Yeah. Satan, so maybe you look around to find something to like refer to. Satan themselves isn't currently armed, but on the wall there's a bunch of different like firearms. They've got like a sniper rifle. They've got a chainsaw like up on the wall.
Nice.
These are Satan's personal armaments, and you kind of like look around and maybe notice them the first time.
Yeah. Nice. Like Frankie's kind of saying like, we want to back you, but we have honor, and we want to hear why you're doing this and what the deal is. Give me a reason to help you is kind of what she's asking.
Okay. So
it's not prying. Like, I want to get the right tone here. She's not like, tell me what you're up to here. It's more like, we want to back the Fishers play.
But you got to know why.
Yeah. How can we help you? What are you trying to
do? They gesture to the map. They take their hand off your shoulder and gesture to the map, and say, let me show you. And you go over to the map, and then you hear the door open, and you look over and you see Gritch and this girl, and Gritch, you feel her put her hand on her back and shove you into the room. And she's like, that's where you belong, and closes the door behind you. And you can hear her footsteps as she like runs off. Like, sucker, deal with Satan now. And then
Yeah, I'll take you to Jesus. Not opposite.
So yeah,
Hello,
you see Frankie and Satan having this conversation. Now have you met Satan before?
Satan doesn't like me.
Yeah, I figured. Why?
Well, one, I help people remember specific things from their history.
So for the usual reason.
Satan's also afraid of me, or at least afraid of me being able to do what I claim I do, and
Right.
doing it with Satan.
Right, because Satan probably doesn't want. There's something Satan doesn't want to remember.
It would seem
Yeah,
so.
I bet.
So I think there's that kind of resentment of like, yeah, maybe Satan's like kind of okay with forgetting some stuff and doesn't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
Is suspicious of me for that reason. It's kind of like Satan's projecting, basically.
Okay. All right. So Satan gets distracted from what they were going to show you, Frankie, and looks at Gritch and is like, there's the little rat, and like starts walking towards you.
I just like quirk an eyebrow. Well, that's a little dramatic, don't you think?
So they walk right up to you so you can feel the like heat radiating off of them, and they're like, not welcome here. Told you that last time.
I'm sorry, I must have forgotten.
And then they turn and look at Frankie, and they're like,
Frankie's given Gritch the, for God's sake, don't do anything right now, eyeball. Like, just
Satan looks at you like to see if you say anything, and so that's what you're looking.
Frankie.
Okay.
I did it.
Are you reading me?
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to ask, Gritch? Anything yet?
I'm gonna hold this.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, when Satan looks at Frankie, he catches her looking at Gritch and being like, don't.
Satan says to you, Frankie, you brought this one on board too. Mixed blessing, Frankie.
Yeah, I look, I understand. Well, I don't really, but I get it. I get it. Gritch is part of the crew too. I understand you guys have history, but we're a package deal, and everything's gonna be fine. Gritch is gonna stay out of your way. I say to Gritch.
It's a statement to Gritch more than anything.
I'm just like looking into Satan's eyes the whole time.
Yeah, you're reading Frankie too. I kind of want to like tell you stuff, but you have to ask.
Yeah, you gotta ask.
So yeah, she tries to. I'm gonna try to mollify him essentially. Like, I want Satan to go back to what they were saying before. If I have to manipulate him, I will, with a promise of Gritch not interfering with his business.
Yes, yeah, no, that's what's happening here. I think is that you're trying to manipulate Satan so that they'll believe you that you have Gritch under control.
Right, and they were just about to spill the beans, and I want to just guide them back to that point and smooth this situation over and be like, you don't need to worry about them. Sorry, it's let's talk. Let's just talk. So yeah, I guess that's my promise.
Try to manipulate.
Okay. Hot. Do I have a? Oh no, right. That's when I'm on my boat. Okay. Oh. Hey Andrew.
Yeah. Do you want to help?
You feel like helping me out here?
I was considering interfering with you, actually.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
It seems I don't need to. So just repeat for me what exactly you were setting out to do here.
I'm trying to convince Satan, whether or not it's true, I'm trying to convince Satan that you're not going to be a problem because you're part of my crew and are under my command, basically. And whatever problem he has with you personally, he doesn't need to worry about that because he's he's hiring Frankie to do a thing, and she's in control, which is not true at all. But I'm trying to.
Okay, well, I'll help you.
Yeah.
All right, how do you help? You don't.
I get a 7.
You got a 7. Okay, so how do you help?
Oh, that's 7. Oh, good.
So like, I'm just like very deferential and like appear as non-threatening as possible, and I just say I'm not here to work. I'm just along waiting. It's quite all right.
Okay. So, what's your concrete proof then, Frankie? What do you offer that's like right now can help Satan chill out about Gritch?
I'm gonna give Gritch an order.
Okay.
I'm going to follow it in front of him. So, like, I catch Gritch's eye, and Gritch, you can tell that Frankie is still not herself. Like the way she's not gotten back into her mode where she really can give orders and really expect them to be obeyed. But as she's mollifying Satan, she's like, Gritch, wait outside. And she gives you this look like, come on, man. We need this.
Okay.
How could I get your character to...
I knew you were going to ask me that one.
So, how could I get Frankie to like try to convince Satan to like let me stay here and like do some stuff, basically? Like
do your...
How could I get you to give me more than just Gritch is going to stay out of the way, but be like, Gritch is actually super rad and like is going to help in this way or something? How can I get you to push a little harder?
Yeah, okay. Well, in this particular situation, I don't feel like I have enough leverage to do something right now because I just barely squeaked by with my manipulate. But I think if you do this for me right now, I'll owe you one, basically. Like,
okay, yeah. So
I can't help you right in this moment, but instead of it being Captain Frankie giving you an order, it's like
my friend Frankie asking me a favor. Yes,
exactly. And basically, I'll owe you one. Look, I'll help you out. Just play ball with me right now.
So like Gritch like nods, and I'm like, of course. Can you speak with me when you're done? And then I like move towards the door.
Yeah, and I don't
like, motion for Biz. I like have grabbed Biz's arm and I'm taking him out of the room with me. Like,
okay, yeah, Biz is happy to go.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm doing Biz a solid, very silently.
Sure. Yeah,
Frankie acts like she's being very dismissive. Like she gives you the order and then like turns her back on you.
Yeah.
So it looks like she doesn't care.
Okay.
And then yeah.
So yeah, Satan bangs on the like bulkhead or whatever, and someone outside opens the door, and the two of you are escorted out into the hall. And when the door closes again, Satan turns to Frankie and says, "That one's unstable. Should leave them behind. Not here, in a grave maybe, but they don't belong. Bad news, bad tidings."
I want to say something, but I might use my last read before I do. Okay. Yeah, I'll use it.
All right.
So what I'm about to say, what I'm considering saying is, even broken things have their use. Don't have to be perfect to contribute, which I guess is kind of extra poignant with Satan now that I think about it.
Yeah, it almost sounds like a dig at Satan, or like
Yeah, that's not what I'm trying to do. I guess my question is on my read before I say anything about Gritch.
Yeah.
How can I get Satan to like lay off Gritch? Do I see something in Satan that I feel like I can leverage to like kind of put that issue aside?
You could distract them from the Gritch situation by giving them something more important, like talk about something more relevant. Like Gritch is a thorn in their side, but not as big as the thing that's coming up. And so if you can refocus them on that.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So I won't say that then. I'll say yeah, okay, but there's more important stuff going on right now, right? And I like put my hand on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how I can help you.
Okay. So yeah, Satan kind of like looks at you like yes, you've absorbed my advice, and they look at the map, and they say, we've been having some problems, and he points at the map. And you can see some like drawings on it or whatever, and says, conclave was called some weeks ago, cut Jericho off. Heard things went bad there. You just kind of like nod.
No, I think I'll tell him something. Yeah, I say there was trouble at Jericho's, but we sorted it out. Just led to more trouble though. Nothing's taken over his hold.
You know, it's.
But Jericho's out of the picture.
That's what we'd heard. Jericho, not the problem. Nothing much bigger problem.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
That's what the conclave is about. Jesus, that they shake their head and they say, we need guns, Frankie. Big guns. You've got the biggest. Need you on our side.
I put my hand on Satan's shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I love saying that. And I say, if you're taking out nothing, we're with you 100%.
They nod and they say, might come to that. Thing is, I've been having dreams. You've been to Mercer's lately.
Oh, I try to be cool. I'm gonna act under fire.
Yeah.
I still have the fire of being of having traumatic stress here.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie's so sad.
Let's see if she can be cool about that statement. Oh wait, I raised my cool. Oh yeah, okay. The sheet. Yeah, there it is. Sorry. It's 2. So close.
So I think, yeah, I mean, you're trying not to, like, what would be the thing if you failed that?
If I failed, I think I would, like, show obvious signs of horror, and Satan would be able to see that Frankie's whole thing is a facade right now.
Mm-hmm.
That she's trying to act cool and tough and capable, but he's all messed up inside.
Mm-hmm.
And it has something to do with Mercer. He would get a super good read on me, I guess.
Okay.
So maybe. Well, I guess I flinch, hesitate, or stall, right? So maybe I flinch at the sound of Mercer's name, and I mean, you tell me, but.
Yeah, I think there's some obvious reaction, but it's not clear what that reaction is.
Yeah, like he can tell that there's some pain or weirdness there, but
yeah, I'm gonna give Satan one hold on you for reading you.
Okay.
And so they notice that there's that beat, and they notice, but don't say anything, and they continue telling you kind of what they're kind of going on, what they're going on, and they're like, things changed at Mercer's. Something crawled up out of the water, and now There's a threat. Thing is, Conclave doesn't believe me. I'm the War Master, damn it. And they like turn and like look out the window and sort of walk away. And you can see now they've been staring like where they've been looking out the window northwest. There's like a clean spot on the window. They keep like wiping down. And you can see off vaguely in the distance the outline of Mercer's Enclave through the like the fog from the water, because you're not that far. You can see a dark shape. And you know it's in that direction. And they say nothing's just the big obvious problem. Mercer's got to get dealt with first. Hoping Jericho was going to do that for us, but not now, not this time. That's what I need you for. And they walk back over, and they say, I want you to go to Mercer's, kill everybody, burn the place down. And at this moment, you know, Satan sees right into your soul. What are you really feeling when Satan asks you this?
It's complicated. I'll try to boil it down. Frankie's feeling a huge weight of guilt that somehow she's responsible for this situation, and a huge wave of relief that she can just agree to someone else's order and maybe purge this shit off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Cool. So what do you say?
She says, I want you to go there. Satan says, I want you to go there, kill everybody, burn the place down, kind of.
Yeah, that's literally the words that Satan uses.
Yeah, Frankie says, no problem.
Awesome. Okay, so let's cut to Gritch. So Gritch, you're standing in the hallway now, with one of Satan's minions, again like aggressively armed. They've got maybe a baseball bat with some nails in it hanging off their belt. Kind of scary looking armor. And he's just standing out in the hall, kind of guarding the War Master's chamber. And you and Biz are out in the hallway. What do you do when you're ejected from the room?
So I think the first thing I would do is I kind of take Biz by the shoulders. I'm just like, are you all right? Because he's sweating bullets or whatever.
Yeah. Biz is just like, I don't like it here. I don't like that weirdo. I don't like this place. I don't like these people. I'll eat their food, but I don't like them. I would just like to resupply and leave, which I thought was the plan. Why are we not doing that? Why are we not leaving? What's going on?
Well, I'm sure Frankie's trying to get us. If she's looking for work, it means she's looking for payment.
Yeah, okay, sure. Except, why does it have to be from here? Everything's kind of tense. Did you not notice that?
I'm sure Frankie noticed. She's very good at that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Looking over my shoulder. Although, now that we're separated, feeling a little less safe.
He looks at you, nods. Yeah, story of my life. I would like to go back to the boat.
I think you should do that.
Kind of like listening. And he's like, what do you mean? Like by myself? What are you going to do?
I need to talk to Jesus. That's what I came here to do.
The guard, you hear the guard audibly scoff. Like, pfft.
I shoot him a dirty look.
He's just looking at you like, yeah, I'm listening to your conversation. What?
I kind of give him a glare, go back to Biz. Anyways, ignore the statue. You should go back to the boat. That is definitely the best thing.
It's like, yeah, okay, I guess.
Is Biz like hesitating? He
Yeah,
doesn't-
yeah. He's like, I want to go by myself. This is weird.
And I like pull Biz somewhere where like we have like a little bit of privacy.
Okay.
And I'm just like, Biz, look, you're gonna just have to get over it. These people, no one is gonna take notice of you. You're fine. Just get back to the boat. I need to do this. It's very important.
Can't manipulate this guy.
With pleasure.
Bam.
I have manipulating open.
A special thing happens. It's perfect timing too, because you're gonna be fine. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so perfect that it's Biz.
Yeah.
So good.
So read to me exactly what this opening the move does for Biz when you roll it.
Where is this written down?
It's towards the back.
Yeah, it's in the like ungiven future section.
I believe so, yes.
Let's see if I
Under
can.
advanced fuckery.
No, I don't think
No, it's
so.
before advanced fuckery.
They're called expanded moves, I think. I'm going to check the index.
Expanded improvement. I found where you can get it, but it doesn't say what it does.
Okay.
Vincent.
Advancing moves, 185 to 188, perhaps? Yeah, here we go. 185 is where it starts.
Oh yeah, advancing moves. Here we go.
Yeah.
I just turned
Okay.
to it. So,
Okay.
on a 12 plus, only if they're an NPC, they do it, and furthermore, you change their nature. Choose one of the following. Tell the MC to erase their threat type altogether and write it in instead. So they can be an ally, friend. Their impulse is to back me up. Ally, lover. Impulse is to give me shelter and comfort. Right hand to follow through on my intentions.
Oh, God.
Representative to pursue my interests in my absence. Guardian to intercept danger, or confidant to give me advice, perspective, or absolution.
Okay.
And I feel like he's either going to be friend, right hand, or confidant.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide what the best flavor would be.
I feel like if we were on a roll straight from the fiction we're in now, it sounds like right hand,
I
right?
agree.
Because we're like,
Yeah, because I'm telling him to support stuff that I'm doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
That was the one I thought for sure.
Yeah, I think that one's the most fun, and also like makes sense because we were like colleagues as well, right?
You're
So I
already
feel like
kind of friends.
Yeah.
he kind of gets it, right? Like when I want something done,
okay.
I feel like
So what's his impulse?
to follow through on my intentions.
Okay.
I mean, yes, you're welcome to fuck with me by having him interpret what my intentions are.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
Okay.
If you guys would indulge me, I would love to read this passage after this bit of the move because it's such an
Yeah,
awesome part of the podcast.
oh yeah, please.
If you guys out there haven't played this game, this is one of the coolest things about the game. When you get to a certain point in advancement and you get these expanded moves, magical great things happen when you roll a 12 or higher. And so Gritch has just taken this NPC and made them an ally. And this is the instructions to the GM about it. I'm reading. This is serious business, and don't risk the player's trust by fucking around with it. Take the NPC out of whatever front she's in, meaning the like enemy group. List her in a whole new place called home. Furthermore, stop looking at this NPC through crosshairs. She's been set apart, safe from casual death, to a higher purpose. By now, the players are bone weary of knowing that every single NPC is, at heart, only a potential threat to them. Now, with this one person, they can breathe.
Awesome.
So good.
Hey, Gritch has a friend.
Serious business.
Or a minion.
He's a friend.
Gritch's right hand. All right.
This also like extends. It's not just like Gritch's friend. This is like Biz kind of. Is this for the players, right? Like,
Yeah, but if it comes down to choosing between the three of you,
Yeah.
it'll. Yeah, easy
clearly
way.
in the fiction, it makes the most sense. Yes, that like
So Biz
is like loyal.
I think that you say this. You like look Biz in the eye and you honestly tell him like you're gonna be fine. Just like trust me.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see some of his like innate like shakiness or like fear kind of like go away. Kind of like
maybe he's reaching for the Pepto and then he puts it away.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Nice.
And he puts it back in his pocket and he nods and he's like, "Okay, boss." And he like turns and he I think that he hikes up the like make sure he checks the gun that you gave him that he still got from before, the antique pistol.
Right, there's even like a token of it. It's good.
Yeah, and he's like, "Okay, boss," and he like turns to leave. Cool.
Right.
Okay.
That's so good.
So where do you go now? Because Satan's minion wasn't watching you. Like he didn't watch you go on the
door. Yeah, he's just
guarding the door.
So yeah, I'm just like I'm inside the like right.
You
so
don't have enough people to be really like it's not a secure area. Like you could just like wander around until you find Jesus if you want.
That's basically my plan.
Okay. Cool.
And maybe I'll open my brain while I'm at it about like Satan. I'm like still thinking about Satan.
Well, let's come back to that because
we can cut.
I know everyone would love it if I just forgot that I was going to make Navarre roll.
I figured you were coming back.
Oh yeah, we've been waiting on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile, back on the boat, yeah, Navarre, you're in the mess, chopping up Tao's body. And I think that maybe when we like fade in on this scene, there's a bit of like if this were a TV show, there'd be a fake away that we're getting like one of Gritch's like maelstrom scenes because we hear like the scraping of metal and like the hull sort of creaking noise. And as we like fade into it, it's actually your boat, and we have like Navarre from the back like raising the knife and like and there's this like parallel between the Minotaur assembling the bodies in the maelstrom and Navarre disassembling it here on the boat.
You set him up, she'll knock him down.
That's right. So Navarre, can you act under fire for me? And the fire is that whatever's in Tao's blood spreads to you.
So is cool the one that I actually run hard?
Yeah, I think if you have, it depends. Do you have one that just says when you do something under fire, you do it with hard instead?
Yeah.
Okay,
when you act under fire, roll hard instead of cool.
And what's the name of that move?
Battle hardened.
Nice. Okay, cool. You've had all kinds of gross blood all over you before.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
Okay.
11.
All right. Cool. So while you do get covered in Tao's gross old blood, it doesn't get in your eyes or your mouth or anything, and you're okay.
I'm aware of. I have bloodborne pathogen training.
Let's all just take a moment to appreciate that success.
Mm-hmm.
That's an important 11.
It really mattered.
I don't know.
This is
I
one
have
of
the
those.
disease. I'm fine.
This is one of those circumstances where the 12 plus on this move, that's the one where you turn the danger back on itself or something. This is where we'd start talking about mutations. But yeah, so you chop up the body, you manage to disassemble it. It takes a while. And I think that, like, what do? You're going to put all the parts in a bag or whatever?
I have all the sheets because there was bloodied sheets, and then maybe I grabbed the top sheet off of mine, and I just kind of garbage bag it up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put it in the corner somewhere kind of out of the way. Because I feel like it's been there for so long that, like, it's not like is the blood like still pooling out, or is it just all?
No, it's all congealed.
So
and
I think when I put another blanket around it, you can't really tell what it is, and then I'm just gonna keep taking care of the top of the boat and watching our stuff and waiting for inevitably Biz, I suppose, to come back.
Yeah, that's
tell
what
him to go buy me an oil drum because I'm not leaving the boat.
So I think that you see Biz making his way through the crowd as you're sitting outside. Now, are you etching this scene into your armor? Or are you like drawing you chopping up a corpse?
No, I don't think so. I think there were a few things I needed to write down from the last couple occurrences, and maybe I've noted the Jericho fight on the boat because it was the boat was involved a little.
Okay.
And then that symbol that I saw in the sheet, I've written that down, but I don't really remember why that was relevant. So I'm still not sure. I mean,
So
Navarre
what do we find you doing when Biz shows up?
I'm sitting on top of the highest stack of things, the closest to where people would get on the boat, so I
Okay.
can see both sides and just kind of
Are
doodling
you just like
and
polishing your grenade launcher?
yeah, yeah,
Looking really intimidating.
making sure everything's all ready and just kind of
Okay.
hanging out, lifting a
Yeah. So
little.
you see Biz making his way through the crowd, and he gets to the edge of the boat and he sees you. And as he's getting on the boat, he's climbing down the ladder or something, like down onto the boat. He's like wheezing a little bit, and he gets off the boat and looks at you, being all tough. And like looks at you, he's like, "Well, nobody's gonna rob us, at least." How's it going?
Good. I need you to go get me a barrel, an oil drum.
Kind of looks at you. He's like, "Well, we need oil."
I need to get rid of some debris that's on the boat, and I don't want to leave the boat unattended.
So Biz doesn't know about the whole Tao situation, right? Like, is that the deal? You kept him away from that?
Yeah, he doesn't really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think like unless he like is shrewd enough to like go snooping around and like has.
No, I don't think he would have. Yeah.
Certainly, no one's told him, and no one's been like, "Hey, go look at Frankie's room."
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been
His
awkward
body.
to find out, but maybe he just didn't investigate that or look into anything. So,
Yeah, or he didn't say anything if he did find out.
Mhm.
As far as all y'all know, he doesn't know anything about that. So yeah, I think he kind of gives you stink eye, like, really, like you gotta. It's like, what kind of debris? Can we just throw it overboard?
I need to burn some. We've had casualties. We've been fighting. I just need to burn some stuff that I'd rather burn than throw. So help me out with that. And I try to I don't have barter. I guess I give him like some ammo for that pistol he has, and
yeah, I think you probably do. I think everybody starts with a couple, so you might have a couple loose barter.
I think I only have one.
Oh, you have one. Okay.
Yeah, one left. I'll manipulate him at least, right?
Yeah, you can be like, look, he's just getting ordered around. I already go back to the boat. Okay, go back to the market and give me some stuff. Pick me up some Skittles, Biz.
Biz is our right hand now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. So I think he just shakes his head. He's like, I am not going back into the market. I've had enough of these people. I'm going to go downstairs to my cabin. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to have a nap because my day is over. Because this, and he just gestures around, this is too much for me. And I'm done.
I think I just shrug because I don't think there's anything wrong with what I've left, the body and stuff. It's kind of like in the corner, and unless he goes snooping, I don't really even care if he goes snooping around at this point.
So. Like, what? It's a dismembered corpse.
Yeah.
What was the problem?
Yeah.
It's normal.
Yeah.
Also, I remembered the deal with Navarre's barter because it was significant. Navarre gave was it Renfrew that necklace that belonged
yeah.
to
Right.
his mother that they didn't remember they had.
Mhm.
Here's
That
your
was-
mom's necklace. Also, here's a grenade.
Oh yeah, I
So-
killed him.
Navarre blew up her own barter
I did.
in a turn that surprised
I
absolutely
don't
no
really
one.
care about money as much as I don't really need it. That's the thing. Like, I'm valuable. That's the way I see myself. Like, I'm
Easy
valuable to everyone, so I tend to kind of get by.
You are the barter.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
everyone else's barter is yours if ever you want it.
Mhm.
Right.
Hey guys, I need more ammo. They're like,
Yeah.
why else are we getting it?
Yeah. What do you guns? That's cute.
I have one bullet left, and you're standing in front of me.
Yeah.
I let him go. I would like to burn this, but I'm okay with where it is. I've given Frankie a room back. I don't really trust what's going on after that person came and talked to me, so I'm just gonna keep watching and waiting
Still
for my
Frankie
a room
team.
of her own.
So I think he expects you to get pushy and be like, no, you're gonna do it. And when you don't, like he's like, I'm gonna go and lie down, and then you're like, meh. He starts walking away and he stops and turns and looks at you and he's like you can see him like he's expecting to get yelled at and then doesn't happen. He kind of like looks around like he's not sure what to do.
I
And
just
then he
retain
walks
the same.
yeah, and he walks over to you and he's like kind of looks around like and casually just remarks like, yeah, weather's okay today, and like sits down on a box near you. Like looks around like if cigarettes were not a thing that were impossible to come by, this is where he would light one and be like, yeah, no, I'm just casually sitting near you having a cigarette. What's up? It's fine. I'm on the crew now.
I don't really react, to be honest. I'm not like.
Yeah. So I think he tries to make small talk with you. He's like, so, what do you think's got all these fishers worked up?
I don't know. Like I don't pay attention to this kind of stuff. Do you? Do you know who I am?
He's like, yeah, of course I do. I've seen you in action. You're a big fucking deal. I just thought maybe you'd have some tactical thoughts about the Fisher situation. They have a lot more guns than usual.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm so confident. I don't react to that negatively. I'm just like, meh, cool, nice to look at. You know, I always
Which I think
admired the gun.
just impresses him more. Where he's like, yeah, you are the Navarre I thought you were. Like a whole clan of armed dudes, and you're just like, meh, chumps.
I definitely go if he's not sitting where I was sitting. I go back to where I was sitting, and I just kind of keep taking a survey. And if he wants to chit chat, I'll give him
Totally.
enough to get by, but it's not gonna be.
Yeah, I think that, and so that's maybe it's a good like contrast to the last break where it's like
Yeah.
Navarre and Biz sitting here talking, and he's just like casually like, yeah, so whatever, it hasn't rained really hard since that storm. I wonder how much damage that caused, blah blah, and you're just like not really paying attention to him, I guess. And then we like pan down through the deck of the ship to the like soggy meat bag where Tao's body is just like kind of soaking into the sheets. Everything's just another day, another fine day here on the Vixen. And we fade to black. Let's take our second break there, I guess.
Awesome. Well, hang tight, everybody. We will be back in a few. Bye. We are back. Hello, everyone.
Excellent. Hello. So while Tao's body molders away in pieces in the hold of the ship, what are you doing, Gritch? You're all alone in the Tower of Babel. You've been exiled from Satan's war room and left to your own devices.
I'm looking for Jesus in Babylon. That's what I'm doing.
All right, you're gonna seek Jesus. Okay.
But while I'm doing that, I'm like thinking about Satan and opening my brain to the maelstrom.
You'll never find Jesus if all you can think about is Satan. You're gonna open your brain to the maelstrom about Satan.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it.
I succeed partially.
All right. The psychic maelstrom responds to your desires to learn more with pure, unmitigated hate. The maelstrom hates Satan. The maelstrom, it's the hatred of someone who is betrayed by like a confidant or like beloved, someone who like raised a puppy from birth only to have that puppy bite their eye out. Like the maelstrom, you get this like seething, burning storm of like a vengeful rage. Such that I think that you're walking and you go to open your brain, and instead of getting a vision or anything, there's just this overwhelming feeling of like rage and hate, and you just like stumble and like fall to your hands and knees. Like you've like suddenly a really bad nosebleed, and are just like dizzy and feeling like hot. And you hear a woman's voice behind you say, "Are you all right?"
And I'm like, I like pull a like really dirty like hanky out of my pocket, and I'm like wiping my face as I like turn and look.
Okay, so you look up, and it's like you have like a sudden like painful migraine that you can feel it receding, but like it hurts so bad that your vision is blurring. Mm-hmm. And you turn around and you see a woman, probably in her like 60s or so. She's holding a baby. There's like a little, and not like a tiny infant baby, but like, maybe a 2-year-old,
mm-hmm.
a chubby little baby, in her arms, and the baby's like playing with her hair. It's got long hair. And she's like just like looking down at you holding this baby. And she's like, "You all right?"
Probably. I'm like,
so she puts her hand out to like help you up.
Yeah, I'll not above taking it.
Okay. So she pulls you up off the deck. She's quite strong. And looks at you, and you can see her face start to like you could see her again.
Yeah.
She looks like a woman who's like lived her years. There's signs of a struggle. She's got like a scar on her face, like under her cheek. She looks tired, like really tired, but kind of tough. Like you can feel like in her grip that she's not like worn down in that way. And she kind of like looks at you and gives you a nod, and she kind of gestures. She's like, "You got a little."
Yeah, I like still have the handkerchief there. I'm like piling it up against my nose.
Yeah, she's like, "You sick?"
And there's like a beat where I'm like,
"How do I answer that?"
This just, I'm not sure what happened. And I like look at the handkerchief.
She's like, you'd best sit down. Come here. And she kind of like puts her arm around you, and takes you off into like a side room that looks like it's being used for storage. And the kid is just like gurgling and like looking around and seems kind of docile. And she sits you down on a box. And she just hands the baby to you, and she's like, "Hold on to her," and just puts this baby in your arms.
The baby.
Okay. And
it's not sinister at all.
Yeah, so you're holding the baby, and you've got like blood dribbling out of your nose, and she takes out she's got like a little like hip bag. She takes out a flask and like a washcloth, and she tips some like water onto the cloth, and she like literally just like starts wiping your face. She's just like, "Sit still," and like is like wiping the blood off your face, and it's like the water's really cool, and she just like starts mothering you immediately. It's just like you're obviously in trouble. Like sit down. And the kid is like playing with like something on your jacket or something, playing with the lapels of your jacket. How do you feel about this, Grinch?
I'm just like drop my gross like bloodstained hanky to the ground, and
The kid probably like leans over to try to grab it.
I'm just like holding the kid away and just like, I'm Grinch.
She looks at you like sternly, like right in the eyes, nods, and she's like, "Oh, I know, honey."
I like quirk an eyebrow. I'm afraid I don't remember you.
She doesn't look up, like she's like finished wiping your face, and is like wringing the cloth out on the floor, like onto the deck, and she's like, "That's okay. Don't worry about that."
So rude.
And so while you still got the baby in your arms, you're like sitting down, she she like folds her arms and looks at you, and she's like, "What you doing in here?"
Well, I was looking for Jesus, but I must admit I've gotten a little turned around.
She's like, "I'll say you have. Jesus is real busy right now. He's upstairs with Jonah. He's trying to call the conclave. He doesn't need people like you, no offense, coming in here and causing trouble.
People
Why don't
like
you tell me what you're looking for Jesus for? Maybe I can help you." And she pulls over a crate and sits down next to you.
Well, there are some problems out in the world that I think Jesus should know about, and I could talk to Satan about them, but they're a little unhinged, to be perfectly frank.
She nods and she's like, "That's what we got Satan for. Jesus stays here. Jesus worries about us, about the family, keeps the record. Not Jesus' job to think about what's going on in the outside world. That's what we got Satan for."
My friend, what you must understand is that the outside world and yours bleed into one another, and I like touch my nose.
Hmm.
And like, with like a little bit of blood on my tips of my fingers, I kind of do this little like half shrug.
Mm-hmm.
Bound to happen. And there are some things that Jesus should know about.
What kind of things?
Issues of health.
Health issues, huh? Might be I care a bit about that. Tell me.
Well, maybe you've heard of nothing.
She gives a slow, kind of somber nod.
Yes, a real piece of work, that one. Nothing has some ideas which certainly are in conflict with those of the Fishers, but his ideas are not just that. They're almost like a sickness. I just want to make sure that you all will be ready for that kind of thing. And then there are some other problems. And like Critch kind of gets the like 1,000-yard stare because I'm thinking about the whole like Mercer thing. The world is full of threats, and I just wanted to talk to Jesus about them. Jesus and I are friends, you know.
She says, she's like, "Yeah, world full of threats. It's true. That's what we got family for. You got any family, Gritch?"
Yeah, like Gritch actually just laughs. Well, in a manner of speaking, I suppose. And like Gritch is just like thinking of the Minotaur at this point. But not much. We're a little estranged.
People around here don't trust you much. I figure they got good reason to. Some of them think maybe you're just as bad as nothing. Maybe you're on his side.
Well, trust me, he has been offering, but I'm not terribly interested.
Might be I could take you to see Jesus. You think he's going to be able to help you?
It will be an exchange, I'm sure.
She kind of shrugs and shakes her head, and she's like, "Well, all this above my pay grade. Give me that baby." And she like puts her hands out.
Can I read her?
Yeah, sure.
I do it.
Okay, what would you like to know?
So when she's like, yeah, maybe you can help, blah, 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 all above my pay grade, what's she actually feeling?
Wary of you, and feeling like she can't handle you on her own.
Hmm. And what does she wish I would do? Like very broadly, like from this whole conversation, what is the impression I have of like what she really wants from me?
She wants you to tell her, and by extension, the council or whatever, everything that you know, and then renounce your weirdo ways and stay here with the Fishers where it's safe. But that's what she wants for everybody, right?
Hmm. So she doesn't have. I don't get the impression that she's like interested in me very specifically.
Nah. She has hope for you. She thinks that like other people are like super. She's creeped out by you too, but only by reputation. She thinks you're a person who can be turned around.
And so I'm like holding this baby, and I kind of like bounce the baby a little bit and like try to get it to smile before I hand it off.
Mm-hmm.
I will say like, I mean, for all I know, as I'm like handing her this baby, like maybe I was a fisher once and I just forgot.
She chuckles meaningfully. Like, not that was a joke, but she's just like kind of one of those like, I don't know, when someone makes a poignant joke that they themselves don't get. And so she just like kind of like chuckles like, wouldn't that be a thing?
And then like not really, like Rich is kind of oblivious to that, like, you know, isn't on that level. And it's just although I'm sure the book would remember. They're very reliable that way.
Mm-hmm.
I spend a lot less time treating books than people.
So she says, well, maybe when we get on up there, you can ask Jesus yourself.
That would be lovely. How could I get her to tell me her name?
You could ask.
And my friend, I am sorry, but I have forgotten your name, and I feel terrible. I know that this is very important for fishers. And I'm Gretch. Who are you?
She laughs and kind of shakes her head. And she's like, "Oh, honey, I've been forgotten by so many children. Just good to have you home." And she like pats you on the back like she's joking, like, "Ha, maybe you don't know where you're from, and I do."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm Lilith. Try to remember this time."
I'm amazed I forgot.
So let's go see about that. Let's go see about that Jesus situation, shall we? And she like kind of like guides you into the hall.
Yay. Okay.
Cool. So Frankie, you want to return to your boat? Is that your plan?
You want to unmute your mic as well?
Steal your voice back from the maelstrom?
I will do both of those things. Yeah, I am going to return to the Vixen, and I've got a delivery that I'm bringing back with me.
Okay. So you get back to the boat, and I think that you probably see Biz and Navarre, and Biz is shooting the shit, and Navarre is, what are you doing?
Just watching.
Okay.
Waiting for Frankie to come back so I can run and get a oil barrel.
Okay. Yeah, so they're just hanging out on the deck of the ship.
So Frankie's coming back. She's got like a hand truck with this crate, this like metal crate. It's like the size of like a Foot Locker, or maybe kind of bigger than that actually. And she like comes to the edge of the dock and like tips it up and sets it there, and like whistles up to draw Navarre's eye. Although you already saw her, but
yeah, but you whistle to get their attention. So Biz and Navarre both like look actively now, like whoop.
Yeah, like it's gonna be a more than one person job to like manhandle this big heavy crate down onto the deck. So she kind of gets your attention. Well,
I'm just kidding.
Frankie can't do
It's
it.
bigger than me. No, I get up and help for sure.
So she's gonna. Plus, there's like that ladder, so
Yeah, yeah.
she's gonna like
Yeah.
start to tip it down and sort of counterweight it until you
Sure.
get your hands on it, and then slide it down the thing.
I think maybe while you two are like struggling with it, like, so okay, who saw the kid? It was you, Frankie, right? Was it you that saw the one-armed
Yeah.
kid? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think he's like, hey, and he like comes over and he's pointing at like they have like a crane. He's like, you can use that.
We're like halfway in between here, and
We're
we're
like
like,
on the verge of totally fucking it up, basically.
I think he runs over and with his like one good arm like tries to help you like get it back up on the deck so you can like use the.
yeah, okay, cool. I kind of pat him on the back and point at it like, if you can operate it, go ahead.
He's kind of like, he shakes his head. He's like, needs two hands, but I can tell you how to do it. I've seen it done a bunch of times.
All right.
So yeah, so he walks you through lowering the like cargo down onto the deck. And
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your name?
He's like, I'm Silas, and you can see like his bad arm. Like he lifts to go shake your hand, then he kind of like is like and like goes to like use his other hand awkwardly.
Yeah, I like give him the shake.
Okay.
I'm Frankie. Thanks, Silas.
He nods. He's like, it's okay. Supposed to look out for the boat.
Appreciate that. So I drop down, go over to the middle of the deck. We have this big tarp and some boxes, supply boxes and stuff that's always been sort of stacked up kind of in the middle of the deck right in front of the bridge. And I kind of give Navari a nod and start unwinding all this rope and lashing that's been there. It's like old and crusted with salt from the water and the sea air, and it's clearly been there for years. And it takes us, I don't know, like several minutes to get it all unwound and pull one tarp off that's all encrusted and then another one underneath that. And as we get the last bit off, Frankie pulls off the thing and reveals the boat's main gun. That's been under the tarp.
I'm afraid this battle station will be fully operational by the time your friends arrive. I think that when you unveil it, like Biz just lets out like a low whistle, like.
Yeah, so it's like a cannon. It's a 20 mil like anti-vehicle gun. It's mounted. It's in this like fairly fancy mount. That's obviously all controlled by wire from the bridge, and it's got a big light attached to the side of it. And
is it a big enough gun that I can like sit on the end of it and shoot people off of it? You know what I mean?
Not on the barrel.
It's not that big. That'd be awesome.
You could definitely like get on the back part, like the mechanism of it. The turret part, yeah. You could. It's big enough to sit on. That part is, yeah.
Sweet.
So I'm spending an advance. I've got an unspent advance here.
Yeah.
And I'm taking now. Technically, in Apocalypse World, this move is my other car is a tank, which gives you an extra vehicle.
Oh. Wow.
In this case, I think multiple boats and stuff is just gonna. We don't really need to get into that, so I'm treating this as an upgrade to the Vixen, basically.
Nice.
Someone in chat linked a picture to a naval 20 millimeter gun. They are badass.
Yeah, that's it. That's like an Orlikon or a Typhoon kind of thing. So you can see the belt links there. That imagine the width of that. Like that's the size of the shell. It's crazy.
So I think that like Biz is just staring up at it, sitting next to Navari, and he like leans over to Navari without breaking like eye contact with the gun. Leans over, he's like, "I think hers is bigger than yours."
Yeah. So Frankie goes over and like kicks off the latches on the thing and opens up the ammo store that she's just gotten off the fishers of the belted links of 20 mil ammo and goes over and like takes out her screwdriver and opens up the deck plate to feed the ammo into the feeder, and she just like starts going to work to like grease all the parts and like get it going. She doesn't really say anything to Navari. She's just like,
Is the thing you brought in, like you said, it was literally like a metal box? That's what you brought in?
oh, the ammo case?
Like
yeah.
a coffin
like something that I could empty and then throw some garbage in and light
You
stuff
know,
on
that's
fire?
funny. I did not do that on purpose, but
No, but it's
Yeah.
totally, yeah.
So
It is-
if
it's-
that's what it
yeah.
is it
Yeah.
have
up
holes in
against the
it?
deck.
Like it has
Yeah, yeah.
a little bit of holes in it, but it's basically, or is it a solid metal box?
yeah, it's solid metal. It's
There's, like,
it's
a
kind of
top.
yeah. It would even be. It's kind of built thickly, like so it can rattle around and not bend and break. So it's like a pretty serious metal.
How tall is it? Like, can we
You
see?
could burn a body in this box. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it'd be like
So, like, if I went and threw something over without you looking and lit it on fire, you wouldn't like be able to see it and watch it burn, kind of a thing. That's what I was after. I'm trying
yeah, I
to like
get-
shield your. Or is it like a low metal box that like it's going to be pretty obvious what I'm doing?
It's like imagine a really big steamer trunk. That's the size and shape of it roughly.
Okay. I mean, I'm
So-
gonna, if it's big enough, I'm gonna empty it and probably try to empty the box where we need to go. And then, can I pull this when it's empty?
Yeah, once I load everything out of it, I just kind of ignore it. So if you drag
Like,
it
I'm
off,
strong enough to drag it off once it's empty.
Oh,
for sure.
totally, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So yeah, I'll help empty it, and then I'm gonna drag it off as close to where the bag is, and try to take care of that.
Okay. So are you trying to make an effort not to seem like you're being shady while you do this? Like,
I'm being more like cleaning, you know. So like maybe
Okay, why
there's
don't-
other stuff I need to burn too. That like
sure. Why don't you act under fire? We'll see if you can do this without being noticed.
Oh, cool. So I get to roll hard again.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I succeed at 11.
boom.
Yeah. Biz is too distracted by what Frankie is doing
Oh, yeah.
to notice you lurking around. So Biz just like spends most of the time just like watching you assemble the gun, kind of like nodding and be like, "Damn." Okay.
Yeah, once I get the links all belted in and fitted, I go up to the bridge and like flip off a bunch of safeties and start like checking the servos on the. I'm aiming it around and just like testing it out and.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So Navari, you go and put the bag in the metal box,
Yeah.
and then what do you do?
There's got to be like a little bit of gasoline nearby, right?
Oh yeah, sure. You can just
So
grab
yeah,
the gas.
I try
Just
to
douse
put
it.
it a little bit on and just kind of, I'm gonna kind of like let everybody know I'm burning garbage in like, hey, don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm just cleaning up.
I'm burning garbage over here.
And then maybe
Okay.
throw some other like actual ship garbage and like food waste and stuff that,
Okay.
and just
Yeah, I think that you can
Coffee
like Frankie.
grounds and banana peels.
I'm making
You gotta
compost.
compost that shit.
Mhm.
So I think maybe when the smoke starts to come up from the deck as you like light your fire, Biz like Frankie Biz like you can hear him like sniff the air. He's like, and then you hear his like stomach like gurgle, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't eaten. Got any food around here?" And then you like hear boom as like you dump the thing overboard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it occurs to you that like you've got some food supplies, but you guys haven't eaten in a while.
Yeah,
It might be worth doing that either on the ship or going out into the market to get food.
I think we have some fresh fish that we got
So,
from
yeah.
So actually, when Biz mentions that, I kind of like indicate the galley, and we have like a little kitchen burner and pans and stuff. I'm like, that's a good idea. Why don't you fry up some of that?
He nods. He's like, yeah, all right. He kind of like takes one look at the last look at the gun and nods at you like, yeah, cool gun, and then goes down into the ship.
Yeah,
Now
so
that we got
I
guns, we're eating barbecue.
That's right.
America.
Yep.
I flip the gun out and like range it,
Mhm.
and I lean out the window. I'm like, Silas.
And he like you can see him. He's sitting. He's been staring the whole time, just sitting on this box, and like waves.
I need to test fire around. Is that going to be a problem?
He just shakes his head.
We're good?
With thumbs up.
Test fire. Just stand a little to your right.
I mean, I think if you point the gun in his direction, he'd probably know.
The Ed 209 scene, like, no, undo.
Delete.
You have 2 seconds to comply. Yeah, he gives you the thumbs up.
All right. So I, switch it to single. I guess I don't even know if it has that feature, but whatever.
Yeah, you can fire a single shot.
I squeeze off a 20 mil blast and
Okay.
like watch it in the scope to see if it's hitting where the scope is zeroed.
So you fire it, and everyone in the whole area like can hear the gunshot. A bunch of seagulls like fly off of some nearby boats. And then Silas is like, "Woo!" and like holds his hand up and like over his head.
Nice.
And I think maybe that like the gunshot sound, like we cut over to Gritch, and you're being led into the like main, the upper, like the bridge basically. There's a bunch of people here. Maybe you recognize some of them, maybe you don't. There's the woman you came in with, so like Lilith, we would recognize, but you don't. We see Abel there. We see one of Satan's minions by the door, and we see Jesus talking to a woman over by the wheel, the old like steering wheel of the ship. And Lilith points across the room and says, "That's Jesus there talking to Jonah. You behave yourself." Like looks at you and kind of gives you a wink. "I'll be over here if you need me."
I just smile.
Okay.
So yeah, I walk over and like wait for a moment to like interject. So maybe I overhear some of their conversation.
Yeah, sure.
On me.
So you catch Jonah saying, like, "Don't worry, we have somebody on it." And then Jesus says, "This is your show. This is your show, Jonah." And then you walk up. So we haven't seen either of these characters on screen before. I think that Jonah looks like someone with a lot on their mind. She's dressed nicely, like she maybe has like a suit jacket, and maybe you have flashbacks to like she's dressed similarly to someone you can't remember. She's got like a pocket watch on like a chain, maybe like some pinstripe pants. She looks like someone who's dressed to look like they're in charge. She's got a couple of like gold rings on. And Jesus is dressed pretty much the same way that Judas was, but his bicycle chain has like more stuff attached to it. He's got like a one of those little mini mag lights hanging off of it. Maybe like an uncracked glow stick, some other various like bits and pieces off his like bicycle chain, and then he's got the same like sailcloth like wrapping. He's got I think like a tight fade, like a short haircut. Doesn't have a beard, maybe sideburns though. And he's literally the cleanest person you've ever seen, maybe in your whole life. Like he's like immaculately clean. And he smells like dishwasher soap, like detergent or something. When you walk up to him, you notice that like vaguely chemical, like industrial,
weird, like chemical smell. Yeah.
Yeah, the kind they would sell to prisons, not like the nice kind you buy at Costco.
Mm-hmm.
And they both immediately, like as you walk out, they both turn to look at you. And Jesus gives Jonah a look like, "Oh, you have somebody on it, huh? Really?" And then they both like just wait, because obviously you're walking up to them with something to say.
Yeah. I'll just be like, "Oh, hello."
You just deadpan stare from both of them.
I'm Gritch. Hope that you remember me. I was wondering if I could speak with you, Jesus.
They look at each other. Jonah says, "About what?" He takes like a half step towards you.
And like I like hadn't really been looking at Jonah, but now
Yeah. She just moves up in the side of your vision.
I don't think we've met.
She looks at you like, really? You gonna say that? You gonna say that to my face? Fine. She's like, you know who I am.
And like my hand is out, and then I just take my hand back.
Yeah, she's not having it.
Anyways, what I have to say, it's a bit of a personal matter, but it is important that I speak with you.
You said you're just talking past her to Jesus?
Yeah, like I'm like, it's a bit of a personal matter to Jonah, and then I turn to Jesus, like, but it is important that I talk to you.
Okay. So she's like, you can say it in front of me. And she's like, kind of like, you can see that she's upset about this situation, but you can't tell exactly what necessarily is upsetting her.
Well,
you could take a moment if you want to read her.
Game provide me with accessing that information.
Nicely done.
So yeah, I will read her.
Okay.
So she looks upset.
She's annoyed and frustrated.
Yeah. What does she wish I would do?
Treat her with the authority and respect that she has and deserves. Like she wishes everyone would do, because everyone seems to forget that it's her fucking town.
Yeah.
And like you walking in here, you've walked into a conversation that she was already feeling stressed about for this reason and totally just bypassed her. And she's just like, seriously, you fucking asshole? Like, come on. That's what she wishes you would do. Ask her permission to talk to Jesus, like you're supposed to.
So yeah, I like turned back to her and was like, now I'm sure that what you two were discussing was very important. I know that you're very busy and that right now is a difficult time. I think that what I have to share with Jesus will help, but I need to talk to Jesus first. I'm sorry.
She like kind of scowls at you, looks at Jesus. Jesus just like stonewalls her. So looks at you again. She's like, fine, I'm very busy. You deal with him. And she like steps away from you, like angrily.
Like as she's walking away, I'm like, I really appreciate your understanding in this, and just like trail off.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she just walks away, and you can see she goes and like redirects her like frustration at somebody else, and starts giving them shit. So yeah, Jesus is just staring at you.
Sorry, I want to wrap up. I have like a question.
Yeah,
what's she really feeling right
now? Total lack of control. In a position where she should be the one in control.
Cool. Okay. Great. And so I turn to Jesus and I just like nod my head towards like some quiet corner that we can talk in.
He follows you.
Great.
So you're standing over by some like dusty, like unused instruments. Things that would be used to navigate the boat. One of those big like compassy deals, maybe some radar equipment, but obviously they don't use it anymore. So you walk over and he kind of like waits for you to speak.
Well, so I'm sure you know about Nothing and his whole cult following. And from the sounds of it, Satan is intent on doing something about that. What are you doing right now amidst all of this?
Having a conversation with an outsider, it would appear.
Well, something is going on in Mercer's enclave, which perhaps has escaped people's notice, but is very important. And I think you might find this relevant. And is he just like stonewalling me?
He just staring at you, letting you talk.
Okay, I want to read this asshole too. Okay, I get one question.
God damn it, Jesus.
Kid's stonewalling me. What, do I have to go out and like vandalize a car or something? Well, how can I get him to open up and stop being so like robot-like?
Jesus' job is to record when people are born, who they are born to, significant events from the lives of those people, and when they die, so they can pass their name on to the next person to carry it. What he cares about isn't so much Mercer's Enclave or nothing or whatever on their own, like as they stand. You'd have to give him context.
Like how does this relate to his?
Yeah, how does this relate to his job as keeper of the record?
So I'll just I guess so. I'm like, now when people pass on, they leave their name for someone else. Am I right? Do I remember this correctly? Well, something has been replacing people. Often after they die, those people are coming back. And if this were to happen here, and I like motion to like Fishertown, that would present a unique problem for you and yours. What would you call that person? How would they signify within? If they die and then come back, do you change the record? You can see how this might complicate things.
He nods, and he says, "Do you remember what happens when we cast someone out of the clans? What we do with exiles?"
And like, I definitely don't. So Gritch just like quirks an eyebrow.
We take their name back. It's not theirs in the first place. They're just borrowing it. They take another, replace the empty hole where their name belongs. They go their own way. You're rambling about replacements. You sound like Satan, unhinged. That's dangerous. Why are you telling me this? What do you want me to do for you?
Why is everyone here so creepy? Oh. These people. Satan is dealing with very direct threats to physical property, fishing grounds, this kind of thing. What you all are missing is a threat to your principles, to the things that make you who you are.
So he kind of smirks at that, and it's like the first like real reaction. Like he kind of gives a little smirk and shakes his head, and he's like, "How cruel the memory is to hear these things from you of all people." Shakes his head.
And like Gritch is just like, okay. I write this off as like dude being crazy. He appears to be. Although I think I'm starting to pick up what you're putting down, Adam. But yeah, like Gritch isn't getting it. I just want to make sure that you are prepared for what's coming.
He looks around at everyone in the room and says to you, "Preparations are being made. It's good that you're here. Your boat, I mean. You we could do without. But maybe you have something to say, so you've been allowed to stay.
Well,
Satan wanted you killed, fed to the dogs, but we came to a conclusion that it was better to let you have your say. Things have changed recently."
and I like, oh really? How so?
It might be time to choose who we welcome back to the flock and who we push away, more carefully than we might do so in the past. And you're just like, and like he's talking to you like you should understand all this stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just like feeling increasingly uncomfortable And I'm just like racking my brain trying to like remember. I'm like, okay, I like something's missing. What's missing? What's missing?
Deep brain scan yourself.
I'm gonna open my brain
Okay.
about it.
All right.
How appropriate.
Oh my god. Okay.
Appropriate.
So he sees you struggling and he puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, "Let me show you something." And he leads you over to, there's this like massive like log book on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And he opens it and he starts to like turn through the pages. And he gets to an entry. I mean, it's hard to judge how long ago it was, whatever, but gets to an entry like in a genealogy. And he taps it with his finger. And like as we see you like turning your head towards it. And then I want to cut back to the boat. So while we're on back on the Vixen, you've dealt with your garbage problem. Maybe the three of you are like eating now. You're like in the hold, eating on the same table. Like it's been cleaned, but on the same table where Tao's body was just recently.
Yeah, we cut back to Frankie like cutting into her fish.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, we get our like Hannibal moment of like the super close up, like yeah, view. Okay, and so you're all sitting around the table, and I think Biz is asking you, Frankie, like, so you were up there for a while. What's happening? Do we have our supplies? Can we go?
Not yet. We got work. New contract with the Fishers. Frankie's like being super casual about it. Just eating your fish, like, new job, no big deal.
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, good. Well, that was fast. It's a cargo run.
Nah.
So what are we doing?
I just nod.
Gonna take out Mercer's place once and for all.
He like kind of leans back. He's like, hold on. I don't think I heard you correctly. We're going to do what to who?
Mercer, or hold. It's going away.
He's just dumbfounded. Do you say anything, Navari, when Frankie says that?
No. I don't care.
Awesome. So the two of you just keep eating, and Biz is just like,
like just looking between the two of them.
I got excited at like the idea of blowing stuff up, but I never care really who it is because my loyalty lies here. So
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that he doesn't press things or notice anything. I'm just like trying to be really cool about it and just like.
I also don't know that I would want to talk about it in front of him because I don't know if I trust him necessarily. So
sure. I'm
more just like, okay, cool.
Actually, no, hang on. I'm gonna read Biz, actually.
Okay.
I want to know. I have a question to ask him, but I want to be able to tell if he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
One. All right. Well, that'll do.
Okay.
So after he's like given the slack jaw back and forth to us. I gave him a minute to kind of be bewildered. Then I kind of like push my plate back a little bit and sit back and eyeball him. Like, you gonna have a problem with that?
He looks at Navarre. What are you doing?
Just kind of excited and eating.
Okay.
Speak up now. If you got a problem, I want to hear about it.
He kind of like shakes his head. He's like, well, no, but I mean, why?
Fair and reasonable question.
Yeah, isn't it though? What does Frankie say? Well, first of all, I want to know what he's really feeling about murder job.
So what is he really feeling right now?
The revelation that this is what
he's feeling. He's feeling like maybe Gritch would give him a straight answer, and he's kind of out of his element. It's like being invited to a party where you just kind of know everyone there, but you know one person decently well, and that one person's in the bathroom, and you get yourself in an awkward conversation, and he's just like, I don't really know you two very well, so I'm not sure how to negotiate this. And you've put him on the spot, like,
Yeah.
and so he's like,
He doesn't want to give me a straight answer.
it's not even, he doesn't want to commit. He doesn't want to be like, yeah, no, I'm in. And then for Gritch to come back and be like, we are out. And he's like, yes, we're out.
Right.
I meant that all along.
Okay.
He's still feeling out his space here.
Am I able to read that, Adam? Can I tell that he's... I mean, this is asking a lot, but can I tell that he's waiting on Gritch? Or is that...
You can get his social, like, anxiety and that, like, sense that he's not really sure. He doesn't want to commit. You definitely get that part, but you're not really sure necessarily why.
Okay.
Actually, maybe he might just get obvious about it. He just, like, clears his throat when you're like, you're gonna have a problem with that. He's like, he looks around, he's like, anybody seen Gritch lately?
Nice. So Frankie kind of like gives him a harder look and is like, you don't want to go, you don't have to go, but this is something that needs to be done.
I just don't, I mean, obviously this is like your thing, because it looks at Navari and looks at you and is like, with the guns and everything, and that's cool. I'm cool with that. Some people got to get dead, but I just don't understand, like, a whole hold. There's like children there.
Not anymore.
He looks at you like, do you mean there won't be after we blow them all up, or there aren't now? like are you being scary warlord lady, or are you like...
Ambiguous phrasing.
Yeah, not anymore, there's not.
We all got it coming. Yeah, what did she say? She says, that place has problems that can't be fixed anymore. And if something isn't done about it, it's just going to spread and get worse. You could think of it as cutting out a tumor to save the rest of the body.
He kind of like leans back like nervously, and he's like, I have heard this shit before. And he kind of like looks, and then you can see him like he's pushed his chair back a little bit, like he's not sure if he wants to even be in the room right now. And he's kind of like putting his hands up. It's like, y'all sound like nothing right now. You were not there before Jericho decided to attack the hold, and this is some very familiar rhetoric. And he's like, he's gotten up now, and is like, I feel very uncomfortable about this. And by which he means like this moment, this situation, not like necessarily the thing. He's like, yeah, not sure what to do.
Don't kill my friend, you assholes. Do it. Or do it.
Frankie says,
Relax.
I knew it. I was going to do it if you weren't.
I mean,
I held it in.
Sometimes there's just an alignment,
Yeah.
and you have to
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, John.
That's okay. That's all right. Yeah, being compared to nothing is not good. That's shaking up her confident trajectory here. She doesn't have a cool comeback in this moment. When he says that and backs away, she... Fuck.
Can I read Frankie? In this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Totally.
Everybody can read Frankie right now, I think.
Cool. So does that mean I get one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to. Where's this? Oops, I'm dumb. Basic moves. What is your character really feeling? What is Frankie really feeling right now?
She is feeling... She wants to be more like you. she wants to solve her problems with violence and blow up the things that are bumming her out, and not think about it too much.
Don't we all?
So I
Yeah.
think if I can see that she's getting upset because I'm already trying to take care of getting her back to her place, then I would step up and tell Biz to go sit on the deck, wait for Gritch,
Okay.
just kick him out.
So you just say it, you're like, go outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like a little intimidating, but not like I'm not getting close. I don't want to hit him.
You
or
don't
anything.
even need to intimidate him. He is happy to have an excuse. And he nods. He's like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm gonna get some air. And he heads up above decks. Do you say anything to Frankie? Like, Navarre, you're in control of the situation right now.
I'm just eating still. I don't want to shake like the confidence. I'm not trying to have this emotional conversation to bring anything up. I just want to, maybe something like a good plan, boss. You all right? Or anything, just kind of move it on.
Once Biz walks out, Frankie goes back to eating with Navarre, and it's you say that to her, and it's quiet for a second, and then she's like, "You understand? Sometimes these things got to be done," and she's kind of like trying to convince herself.
Cool.
I make a little eye contact and nod, and
it's such a good moment to go out on too, where it's like, like sometimes you're saying it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're looking at it like sometimes these things got to be done, and we just see like Navarre just nod like, fuck yeah. Awesome. I love how the usual dynamic flipped in that moment, where it was like now like Frankie is the one kind of being manipulated, and Navarre's like, yes, this is how it works. Cool. That's good. Cool. Yeah, let's take our last break here, and then we'll come back.
All right, everybody, back in a few.
Cool.
And back for our final hour.
Welcome. So Jesus is showing you the book, Gritch.
The good
So Jesus has opened the book for you and explains to you. Jesus tells you a little story. So Jesus says, some time back, we had a fire, and gestures to the book, and you can see that some of the pages have like been burned. Lost much, many folks dead, some worse off than that. And you're called, like, it calls to mind like Satan's horrible like burns.
Yeah.
Lost some of the book, and gestures, kept other parts. And we look down and we see the page, and there's like a family tree, and a whole bunch of it has been like burned away. But there are two names on the tree that we can see. We can't see what they used to say because they've been blacked out by like Sharpie.
Yeah.
But scrawled above both of the two of them are the words "nothing" and "Gritch," with the line drawn between the two to indicate that you are brothers. And so he points to that and looks at you, and and he says, sometimes they forget they've been exiled. Poor lost sheep come home, not sure why they came back. We turn them around, or if they've truly forgotten, help them rebuild, bring them back into the flock. Which are you going to be, Gritch?
And like I'm still looking down at the book, and I just say like, well, I suppose that's hardly surprising. And then like snap out of it and look up. I'm not about to live like this.
He shakes his head. There's room for all kinds. I'm sure Satan would find a place for you.
I like glare at him. Certainly he's probably the closest to what I am now, but no, it's not right for me to be here permanently. I'm here to tell you about this and then go, because that's what's best for you as well as me.
He nods, sort of looking kind of sad, and he says, it's a shame you feel that way, but good that our teachings have stayed in your heart, that your loyalty is right. Like, again, puts his hand on your shoulder and is like, you should stay for the conclave.
Oh, certainly.
Cool. Okay. So maybe we just go to that. Maybe we like wipe to the conclave. Cool. Okay.
Question.
So, yes. I was gonna say, is there anything else that you want to like get from Jesus before?
So not so much that, but like some time passes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering if I can like have recovered some of my harm, because Biz started treating me, and then I've had like a couple days of rest now, essentially.
Sure. Yeah, you can recover. You've crippled, right? Oh, but that's permanent. But yeah,
I was
not an ability. Wrong game, Adam. Okay, how much harm do you have right now?
I had 3 harm.
Okay. You've had enough to heal one of those, I think.
Yeah.
I had 4, by the way, Adam.
Okay, yeah, you can heal off one too.
Okay.
Yeah, because you had like 2 crazy psychic harm that's not going to get better.
Yeah, there's some kind of nothing harm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think I had 1, or like I had clicked the 3, maybe.
I remember you being injured. Yeah.
Is it time, or would I have needed to get treated?
Time would help that get away. So if you had 1, you're back to fine now.
Okay, cool.
And I think that so at some point in the past, maybe I glossed over it, but there was a not a siren, but like a bell ringing that goes out that signals the conclave, like the reason why everyone is here. And you're all drawn to a particular deck of the ship that's been made to serve as a sort of, not a coliseum, but like it's got areas around the outside that have like bench seating, like metal benches that have been riveted into the wall. And there's a big open area in the middle. It's used for gatherings and for weddings and ceremonies and stuff. And there's a platform kind of at the far end. And Satan, Jonah, and Jesus are all there. on that far platform. And Gritch, did you go back to the ship first, or did you stay with Jesus and the fishers until
I think I probably stuck around with Jesus for a bit.
Okay.
And talked about a bunch of stuff because, yeah, like presumably we have some like ideological crap that we would talk about around this whole subject and like why I'm not going to stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you stayed with Jesus. So you're up on the main like platform, the that area too. And the crowd, basically everyone here has all like assembled. So there's like, I don't know, 40 people here. It's probably for all of you the most people you've seen in one place that you can remember. And Jonah is like addressing the crowd as they sit down. They've got a little like a generator hooked up to like an amp, and she's got a radio mic, whatever that she's like talking into. And she's asking everyone to please like come in and sit down and stay calm. We need to address the situation. She keeps referring to the situation. And everyone will be given their chance to speak. Please just come in and sit down. And everyone comes in and eventually gets settled. And Jonah starts by thanking everyone. Like, we understand that your well-being, your livelihood demands that you stay on your boats, that you draw in the bounty of the sea, that you trade, and we appreciate your coming home. And there's some murmuring, like when she uses that phrase, like coming home, like kind of that sermony, like repeating the word home or the coming home, or like there's like a counter phrase that some people say. Yeah, like an amen. But it's not like religious. It's just yeah.
Agreeable.
So she says, it's my job to keep this place safe, to make sure that Fishertown doesn't come under the same kind of threats we've seen lately. And you notice that Silas is actually sitting on a stool like near her, and she's like, "Come here, Silas." And he like gets up and comes over, and she puts her arm around him, and she's like, "What happened to this poor boy and his family? We refuse to allow that to happen again. That's why we took away Jericho's food." And there's some anger in the crowd. You can see that some people were like, "Yeah, that's the right thing to do," but a couple of people are like, "Maybe we shouldn't have done that. Like, it hasn't really gotten any better." But things have changed, and we need to address that. And she says, "I'm going to let Jesus talk," and she hands the mic to Jesus. And Jesus starts by saying, like, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming here. I know that there are strangers in our midst. And he looks at you. You guys all notice, like the two of you, Navarre and Frankie, and you're with Biz. You now see Gritch, because you've been, I guess, looking for him probably. You see him up on the stage, and Jesus looks at him. And Jesus says, "Some of them are lost sheep. Come home, all thought fled." And there's some more like religious-y sort of murmuring, like where they're like, "Oh, isn't it a shame?" or whatever. But they've come with information. It's been shared with me that our problem with Jericho is over. And now we have to deal with a question about one of our own, one they call Nothing. And then there's like, that's when people start getting angry and like visually upset. You can see this is a conversation that's happened before. And Jesus says, "Now in matters of war, I defer." It looks over to Satan. "But has to be said that we need to make a choice about what to do with the food. Now we control these waters, and by our bounty, so eat the rest of our community, those who haven't joined us, Mercer's people, Jericho's former people, and Nothing himself. We have to choose whether we're going to close the waters up." And there's some like nervous murmuring. And he's like, I know, this is not our way. It's our job to share this bounty with everyone, but times become dangerous, and we fishers, well, we've got but one real weapon. and that's the food supply. Now, I'm gonna let Satan speak. And he puts the mic in Satan's burnt hand, and Satan takes the mic and kind of like rasps quietly into it, and amplified in the room, it takes on this sort of echoey, like metallic sound. And Satan says, "I've been having dreams," and there's like hushed whispering. "Since the fire, something coming up from the sea in Mercer's hold." And you can see this is the first time people have seen this. Like they've heard this, like Mercer. What? I thought we were here to talk about nothing. "I see a clear and present danger there, but we have the good fortune." And again, like sort of like looks back at Gritch, "Having someone come home and bring us a tool to deal with this problem. It's my job to do violence to those who would harm us. And I say we take advantage of this. I've already spoken with the captain." And this is the first time I think, Gritch, you're hearing of this.
Yeah.
"I've already spoken with the captain. We're going to employ these outsiders, take the fight to Mercer, purge that hold. Then we'll be safe to deal with nothing." And there's more like whispering, like, "What the fuck? War with Mercer? This is crazy. Like, I was just there." And like, you can see people start to get like out of control. And Satan doesn't make any effort. Like, Satan has stirred the pot, but like thrives on this. Like, Satan wants everybody to get confused and angry so that they'll want to turn their like anger somewhere, and he can just dangle the target, right? So Satan just like is quiet and hands the mic back to Jesus. And Jesus says, "As is the way of things, you're all allowed to speak. So anyone who wants to talk, come on down. You'll have your turn." And people start to like rise from the crowd and make their way to the stage. Navarre, everyone around you has like moved away from you and like is staring at you now, like, "Oh, that's why you're here? Cool, you're gonna go kill people." And some of them are excited about that idea, and some of them are like, "Oh my god, there's a fucking nuclear bomb in our midst, and they want us to like use it on like you're not being seen as a person anymore. Everyone is looking at you with this look in their eye, like you're gonna kill our enemies, or oh god, I hope you don't go off."
I think I probably just, I love that. So I'm like, I just try to make myself seem even more awesome. And
Okay.
I just stand. I'm like,
Frankie,
I'm
what
like
do you-
Ed, captaining Captain Morgan in the boat.
You're just like, damn right.
Nice.
Okay. Frankie, what do you do? Like, you've got all this attention on the group of you all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm following through on like being as Navarre as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I first like look to her when people scoot away, and I see just how confident and like proud and ready that she is in this moment, and I'm just like, yeah,
Cool.
I don't give off the same like external sort of pride and badassitude, but it just makes me feel really good, and I just kind of sit there and like, that's right, we're the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Navarre is the brave war banner flapping in the wind, and you're the one with your hands on the yes.
Totally.
You're the standard bearer. Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I feel like. Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so Gritch, do you make your way to your friends, or do you stay up on the stage with Satan and Jesus and Jonah?
I stay up on the stage for a bit, and like while people are talking, and I'm kind of like waiting for maybe a moment to speak. I haven't quite decided yet.
Okay. All right. So I think that a few members of the community like come up to voice their opinions about the matter. Somebody, I think maybe it's Samson. Samson is the like botanist on the ship, and he makes a short speech. He's kind of a shy dude, but he gets up there and tells everybody about a dream that he had about the night of the fire. He says, "I know we all can't remember it too well, and I just wanted you to know I had a dream about the fire, And he tells this kind of awkward, rambling story about, like, when somebody's like trying to like recount a dream they don't really remember to you. But by the end of it, he gets to the point where he's just like, and I think that this means that what Satan says is true. And while we don't have any evidence, Satan's never steered us wrong before. And that if Satan says there's a threat, then we should do it. We should go out there. And I know some of you are scared, but we have to trust Satan, because they have their job, because they do it right. And because I had this dream, I remember. And that's a thing that we should do. And there's a few other stories about like why like Satan can't be trusted. Like, yeah, sure, they're the dog, but you keep your dog on a leash, and we shouldn't just send them like running around doing whatever they want. And we can't even trust these people. Like, we cast him out. Whatever they like, they're talking about Gritch, and maybe that's the first time you hear this. Maybe Frankie and like this person says, yeah, we cast them out, and points at Gritch. I don't want all of you to forget that, just like we did with their sibling, with their brother. And just because they come back telling us what to do doesn't mean we should do it. And I, for one, don't think this is a good idea. I think we deal with our problems like we're supposed to. And, so there's this kind of like tension building where it seems like some people want to go ahead with what Satan wants to do by way of, turning you loose on them. But other people, for whatever reason, again, don't trust Gritch, and are like, Gritch's involvement here is a sign that something has gone wrong, and that we should do that. So,
Sorry.
So what opportunity are you looking for, Gritch? Do you want to like?
I was actually wondering if I could read the situation.
Yeah, totally.
And then I'll take it from there.
Nice.
Cool. So the sitch.
While you do that, I would like to read Gritch.
Okay.
Because I need to know a thing.
Yeah.
Whenever Gritch is about to do something, I'm like, hang on, wait a minute.
What are you up to?
1. Okay. I'd like to know what you intend to do, Andrew. You don't have to answer me right now if you don't know yet. That's fine. But
so Gritch kind of has like a couple little goals here. One is like this whole Satan angle, and like Satan having dreams about Mercer being a bad thing. Like I essentially did the same thing, and so I'm kind of like, oh, what's the deal with Satan? Like Satan has some weird psychic shit going on or something. And the Maelstrom hates them, so I'm kind of like, I'm curious about Satan. And then also I'm thinking what I'm probably going to do is like try to provide my services in a way that like helps the community, and like helps make smooth this whole thing over. But I'm generally for like the leveling of Mercer's enclave. I'm like on board with that idea. Like during that whole bit of the speech, Gritch was just like totally nonplussed. So that's kind of what's going on.
Okay.
It's just like, it's a weird venue for me to accomplish what I want, but let's see if I get any good information here. So,
okay.
So who is most vulnerable to me in all of this? Like, where do I insert the pry bar?
It depends on what you're trying to do, right? Like, what vulnerable to what end?
So like, what's a way that I can like essentially overcome my status as an outsider? And
well, I mean, Jesus gave you the venue for that, right?
Yeah.
If you want to stop being an outsider, stop being an outsider. Yeah, come back. Give up your Gritchness and become, I don't know, Behemoth Fisher or whatever.
Okay. And then what else we got here? Who's in control here? Is it the people at large, or is it the like so-called leaders?
It's tipping between Satan getting what they want and the people not wanting to risk anyone's lives and like it's tipping towards Satan being in control because the only people whose lives are at risk would theoretically be yours.
Yeah.
So nobody's really in control at the current moment.
And is there something here that I should be on the lookout for, like as this situation is developing?
Well, maybe because this is what Nothing wanted, right? Nothing wanted Mercer's Hold destroyed too.
Yeah.
So Nothing probably knows something that you don't. If you could ask him or interrogate him about it and get a straight answer, you'd know why this is happening. So I think that you should be on the lookout for not having enough information and Frankie and Navari making a decision based on their lack of information. Because they're just being pointed at a target and they're going along with it.
All right, so I don't think Bridge is going to get up and talk, but while people are talking, and I'm still up in the like panel, I'm going to like, I want to like get Satan's attention and basically like secure some time alone with Satan.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. I mean you're like up on the stage and stuff, but
yeah, so like maybe Satan and I are actually sitting quite close together.
Sure. Yeah,
and
yeah.
So like while someone's like giving some heated speech, I just like turn and I'm like, you and I should talk. I know you don't like me.
They nod slowly. You and your brother committed a crime. And then they just like hold up their like burnt like red hands and they're like, you can't be forgiven for that. Not by me.
I don't need your forgiveness, but I can help you.
Go on.
There are things that you don't know about what you're getting tangled up in and about where you should be focusing your attention. I'm not talking about them out here.
So do you want to like take Satan away now to like talk somewhere while everybody's like resolving this, or do you want to like, is the plan to follow up on that later?
Yeah, like maybe after the conclave.
Okay. All right. So I think Satan's going to ask you like, what does your ship captain plan to do? And he like the two of you look over and you see Navari like looking kind of like there's a space where people aren't sitting around them. She's agreed to do what I asked, but kind of like looks at you. Are you going with them?
Well, I'm part of the crew. I'm always there.
Good.
There are some problems that you can't simply shoot.
So I think Satan shakes their head and they're like, that's not my experience.
I just smile. Well, you do live on this stupid boat.
Yeah, your boat's stupid. I hate this place. I hate you.
like it's clear that Gritch actually just is like has this like lingering feeling of just like total distaste for this place and how like static and.
Do you feel any guilt at all for like this supposed crime you committed but don't remember?
No, and like when they were like, you committed a crime and show me their hands, like totally nonplussed. So like, yep, bad things happen to people all the time. And I'm sure in part Gritch is just like, and it was probably all nothing. I'm sure I didn't do anything. But like after that little exchange, they're like, but Frankie's true to her word. If she's taken on the job, she's going to do it.
Good. It would be very, very bad for you to make a deal with me and then break it. It's all have a moment. Yes, it's Satan.
And besides, we have Navarro with us. It's versus people do not stand a chance. Whatever it is they are.
So you get the impression, just judging by the tenor of the crowd, that's the inevitable way that this conversation is going. We're like, they don't stand a chance. And like that's become kind of the overarching thing that people are saying, like, we have to trust Satan, like, but also because they want an easy solution to the fear that they're feeling. And they're like, we should just, like, we already tried to deal with Nothing when Nothing was a bad dude in our community and we exiled him. So that didn't really work, and Nothing's still out there, and that's getting worse. But let's go after a target we can look at. Like, give me the enemy I can kill.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's starting to kind of go. And so I think that when you say that, like, Satan gets up to go and to like address everybody,
Just like agitate the crowd again.
Yeah, Frankie and Navari, are you just want to wait it out until the conclave is over?
Definitely, I don't have anything to say.
If it looks like things are going Satan's way, I'm not going to interfere. That's what we want to do. So,
all right. So I think that the conclave ends with an official, like, writing down of the decision. Every time there's a conclave, they, like, write down, and on this day, thus did the Fisher clans agree that war would be in the future against Mercer's hold. That she and her people were declared anathema and would be destroyed. And so it's all written down, and sort of the heads of the community officially, like, vote. Like, the captains of each ship come and they, like, make their mark on the page. And as the conclave starts to evaporate, as people start to go back, the decision is made then that until a future conclave can be called, that the Fishers would do no trade with outsiders. That to keep them safe, to keep the war effort, this would be an inside thing, and that they have decided to keep the food all to themselves. And they would deal with the aftermath of sending you out into the world to deal with Mercer once that's done. So it starts to clear, and Navari and Frankie, you have a path up to the stage now if you want to go up and approach.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So Gritch is up there. Jonah is, like, finishing having a conversation with. It's kind of the post show moment where there's some people down on the floor, and Jonah is kind of, like, sitting on the stage and just, like, reassuring a couple of people who didn't agree with the plan. And you see Satan and Abraham up there, and Jesus and Gritch as well. So what do you do, Frankie?
Gritch and Satan are they still sitting there talking together, or are they?
I don't know. Gritch?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm just sitting there looking really bored.
Okay, well, I want to talk to Gritch, like, one-on-one, if that's possible. So I come over and, like, sit down and kind of, like, lean in close with Gritch. So we're doing this thing.
So I gathered.
That was kind of a question. Like, are we doing this thing? So you say that, and she gives you a look like,
Are you really going to follow through with this?
Are you still
You
with
might have
us?
lost your edge, Frankie.
It's a harsh thing to say to Frankie.
Yeah, actually, that doesn't. I don't. Well, no, that doesn't actually hit land.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's like, that's where you're wrong, Gritch.
Nice.
Good.
So, are you with us?
Are you ready for what about... Sorry, Are you ready for the absolute shitstorm you are about to embark on? It's not going to be like you remembered it. And then, like, Gritch, like, looks over their shoulder and suddenly has this, like, hunted look in their eyes. It's been busy there. And, like, the it is, like, capital I, it.
I don't know what you've seen, but we're going to burn that place down. Everything in there is going away, and then nothing's following behind. we're just gonna leave a hole. I don't care what's in there. We're not going in. Did you hear that big thump earlier today?
I like cork and eyebrow.
There's gonna be a lot more of that.
Oh, joy. Well, this one time I do feel it's for the best. But we can't lose sight of the real problem here. And nothing wanted to do this very same thing. There's something missing. There's a piece missing. It feels very odd to be in agreement with nothing.
Yeah, so that is landing. She doesn't want to hear that. She doesn't want to be conflicted anymore.
Yeah, this is what nothing wanted all along.
But his reasons for wanting it and ours are hopefully different. Even if he's not wrong, I still want to kill him.
Well, that's
So
the
there's also
plan.
that.
Mercer's place gone, and then nothing. That's the plan.
Well, and it would be for the best, since until we deal with this, no one's getting any food.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm glad you're back on top of things, Frankie. We need you like that. And you're sure you've got this? There's nothing muddying the waters here.
The sound was so good.
What do you want to know?
I'm waiting for your answer.
Oh, right. There's nothing muddying the waters here.
Also, that was a very clever pun.
I was gonna say that's a funny phrasing, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Her answer is nope, not anymore. We're good to go.
Are you lying to me?
No.
Nice.
Great. Oh yes, we can put all this foolishness behind us, I hope. There's nothing special about that girl, Frankie. And if she were alive in front of me, I wouldn't hesitate to kill her again.
Frankie stands up and she puts her hand on your shoulder like a familiar gesture, and then she slides it in towards your collarbone and grips you really tight. She's like, "We're not going to talk about that again." And she walks off.
Yeah, Gritch is just like chuckling.
So I think I think like we're not going to talk about that again, and we like see the two of you, and we like pan down like to the floor, and like things like the camera goes dark and fades up, and we're underwater, and you know we're down underneath the boat, and there's all these like ruins and stuff, and we see the like crate that you pushed, the burning crate you pushed overboard earlier, Navarre, and it's like hit a rock and like cracked open a little bit, and there's like the water around it is kind of dark, and we just see like fish like swimming around in it, and some of them are like nibbling at the edges of the crate.
God.
And then maybe that's like where we go to black episode. There's nothing special about that girl, Frankie. And then these fish like eating the bones or like whatever down at the bottom. Cool. Let's update our hex, everybody.
Hilarious.
I'm totally calling this episode Muddying the Waters.
Nice. That's
I
good.
like it.
Good.
All right.
So who knows Frankie better?
Me.
That's what I would guess too.
Yep, I totally agree.
So if I'm at 3, then that pushes me to 0.
To +1,
Oh,
Plus
Yeah.
one, you get
and
it.
you get mark experience too.
oh, okay, cool.
And John should tell you something that you learned about Frankie.
Oh right, because we reset.
Oh, cool.
We haven't quite been playing that.
Yeah, I think we forgot to do that on one of yours, Rich, probably.
But
Yeah.
It's a good rule. We should do it.
yeah,
Uh,
thanks, John Stone,
yeah,
our good friend John Stone.
John Stone Metzger, genius. Yeah, no, I think it's the obvious thing. It's you. I think you've learned that. Well, you tell me, Evison, what you think, how this goes in Navarre's mind. Like, does it seem like Frankie is a lot more like you than you realized before? Like you're like, oh wow, we're really simpatico. I didn't really understand how much we think alike, or did you learn like, oh, like Frankie's changed. She's different. Like she's not who I thought she was. Because I think the ending point is
It's more like me. Because I think my thought was that what I did was kind of show you how I think and how I am. And you want to, like, you want to have this give no fucks attitude as well. And
Yeah.
you like seeing that type of personality, and you like the idea of that, and you want to be there too. So it was more like I instilled in you the concept, and you vibed off what I was putting out there.
totally, yeah. That whole thing where I was like trying to change you before, that's totally gone, and I'm on your page now. Yeah, totally.
Cool. Okay. So who knows Navarre better or worse?
I guess in this case it's Frankie, right?
It can be Frankie, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got a real insight into that it's not just like your persona or something. Like you're just Navarre all the way down. Like your whole essence of your being. There's no layers. It's just 100% like genuine thing.
Yeah, I love how bullshit free Navarre is. It's just like,
Yeah.
nope, I got my way of doing things. Unshakable. It's awesome.
Yeah.
This is my favorite character for sure that I've ever played. I love it.
Yeah. She's
Rad.
so great.
Frankie, you get -1.
Of course.
Yeah. So Frankie knows Gritch less well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like you're pushing me away. So
Yeah.
Kinda.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, should we do shoutouts? Are we ready for it?
Yeah.
Cool. Why don't you go first, John?
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. This continues to be awesome. Thanks to Twitch chat for all your great fun commentary as we go along. It's really fun to watch. You can find me on the internet at 17design.com, all written out. And on Twitter rather, I'm John_Harper. I want to give a shout out. My friend Paul Riddle
Oh yeah.
has a Kickstarter, which is it's not starting yet, but the page is up and it's for a role-playing game. I should back up. He has a game called Undying. It's amazing. It's so good. We've been playing it for a while now. It's a game about vampires, done in a really cool way. It's like the world of vampire versus vampire PvP like action. And you can play like hundreds and hundreds of years of their lives when you play. It's so cool. So he just announced the Kickstarter today. It's starting next Tuesday. I'll link in the Twitch chat and maybe in the YouTube comment. Super cool. You don't want to miss out on this. So go check it out. On the page there, he has the full text of the game that you can read. So you can download that and read it and see if it's super good.
I'm super excited about that as well. I think it's going to be really cool. We should play that. We should play that game at Go Play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That should be
Paul will be there, so
Nice.
Cool.
That'd be awesome.
Cool. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Comedian Crow. Always down to hear like feedback and stuff. And as we're moving into starting a new series, I would love to hear if people have any like hopes regarding that, like if they want to see a certain kind of character or whatever, like or some notion. It's like what kind of stuff you like to see me do let me know, and I'll fit that in.
You're just gonna get a lot of like, hey, play fantasy Gritch. We love Gritch, more Gritch.
Well, I want to do something different though. I want to
Yeah.
kind of step away from the like manipulaty weirdo character into something a little bit more different. Show my range.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been so much fun being on this show. I'm really excited.
Cool, man. I'm also looking forward to that game. I think it will be great. Avison.
Sure. So I am Stephanie, community manager here at Roll20. I wanted to go back and reiterate kind of what John said about the Twitch chat. We were commenting on our break how awesome we think you guys are. So thank you for being involved in the game with us and participating in all of the Q&As and voting and keeping the chat about the game. We like that a lot. So keep it up. If you want to support me, you can follow me on Twitter at m_Avison. And again, as I say every week, please just head over to Roll20 and make an account. It's free. We are working on some awesome stuff coming pretty soon. We've got our interface initiative coming up. If you go check out our blog, you can see that we're getting a facelift. We're finally at a place where we are ready to make the site look a little cooler. So check that out. We've been working with Dylan Todd, Big Red Robot, and he's awesome. He's the guy who did the Roll20 logo that you all love. So make an account, and thank you again for being so great.
Cool. And I, as always, am Adam Coble. I am your GM, your MC, and your worst enemy. I noticed some in the chat, some questions about background stuff about the game, and if that is a thing you're curious about, you want to come join me as I untangle the Nothing family tree. I have a post show that I do every Friday at 11 a.m. Right here in this very channel called Post Apocalypse World, where I do that kind of stuff. We talk about what happened in the last episode, what's going to happen in future episodes. We do some spoiler stuff, so come and check that out. We got a new show starting in a couple of weeks. We're doing The Burning Wheel. Obviously, I'm very excited about that. It's going to feature the return of Austin Walker to the cast. So keep an eye out for that, and you can find all of my updates about that and my own stuff over on Twitter at Skinny Ghost or at twitch.tv/Adam Coble. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. It has been a slice.
Q&A.
Yeah, Q&A thread is up on Reddit now, so I will post the link. And this is where we need your help. So if you were in the chat, you were paying more attention to our characters and what they were doing probably than we were. So we need you to go and help us highlight stats for the characters. So we'll be able to reward them for their behavior next time around. And that's it for me. Thanks for coming, everybody. It's been a delightful apocalypse.
Woo!
See you next time.
All right. Bye.